significant anagram.
Hello, and welcome to the Saladcast on Sunday, the 29th of March, 2026. I'm your host, Dan Train. Joining me today is Zachary Burgess.
Woo.
And Robert Kemp.
Red rum.
Oh no, you've been shinning.
I've got the shinning.
You've got the shinning.
Do you want to get sued?
Exactly.
I mean, there's a lot of Simpsons jokes that stand out, but the shinning is a good one.
It's a good one. Yeah.
A particularly good one. Also, does red rum really count as an anagram? I guess it does, even if it's just murder backwards.
Yeah, it's just backwards. It's not even, I mean, I guess everything backwards is also an anagram.
Yeah.
But it's not ain't no palindrome though.
No.
That's the best.
Everyone loves a palindrome. Get on my level. Start strong.
It's get on my level is not a palindrome.
Level is.
I guess level is a palindrome. Yeah, okay. Yeah, fair enough.
Not the whole phrase.
Yeah. What is it? What is a man, a plan, a canal, Panama, right? That's the one that everyone
Is it?
remembers. Like an entire phrase.
Huh.
That's a palindrome.
Fair enough. Everybody all right? Doing good?
Yeah.
Yeah. Fun 2 weeks?
Not sure.
I'm not sure.
Good enough.
These 2 weeks have been entirely average. Mostly without illness.
Well, mostly. I still got something, even though we tried to avoid it last time.
Right, yeah.
I don't know if I did get whatever Rob had, but if I did get it, I only got like 1/4 of it because I was only in bed for like 1 day.
Right.
Just a quarter illness.
Yeah.
Was that the reason for your very muted woo?
No,
at the start of this
I'm fine.
podcast?
It's been a week since then. Because
been
I
a
got
week.
it immediately after last time, basically.
Okay.
The exact thing I was trying to avoid by not coming here last time.
Right, yeah.
But it still happened anyway.
Still lingered.
Just not as badly as Rob got it, apparently. If it was even the same thing.
I mean, my stamina's not been super hot since getting that, whatever that was. I guess that's what the flu normally does, right? But I don't know if I ever really properly had flu all that much, like, before COVID.
In your
I
life?
guess.
Yeah. I don't think I did.
I remember getting, like, full-on freshers flu at uni. Like, I survived the first week of uni, and in the second week I was just, like, dead.
That's just the general cocktail of everything that everyone brings from everywhere.
Yeah,
right?
exactly. It's the melting
a big
pot
party.
of disease.
Yeah. Indeed.
That's what they say about like gaming expos as well, right? everyone turns up to PAX and gets the pox.
Yeah, of course, the PAX box. But now you have the plague child situation.
Yeah.
Yes. So you've introduced someone to school. It's like the mini version of the freshers flu, except for children transmitting it to adults.
Although,
constantly.
like this one was slightly weird. I can't entirely blame No More Milesy for this one because it was just. Well, I mean, they got a little ill. They got a little bit of cold or something, maybe some sore throat going on, but they weren't bedridden for more than 1 day. 4 times more than 1 day.
Yeah. There's definitely an element of luck in how your particular immune system is going to deal with a given thing.
It does beg the question. It's like, did they just like deal with it with the sunglasses, and did I like not for some reason?
Well, when COVID
drunk
first
it in and said, "Come on in, boys."
When COVID first came around, everyone was talking about how like I don't know, 70% of people had no symptoms and were just spreading it around or whatever.
Right.
But no one talks about that now. That was a big thing to begin with, right? Wasn't it? That everybody had it and nobody knew.
Supposedly, yeah. I don't remember that being a super strong part of it. Or the rhetoric even. I don't remember that being what was broadcast, right? Because they didn't really say that. They just sort of said, "Stay at home." Like, don't get it.
Maybe that was super early on. They were talking about that.
Yeah,
I don't know.
maybe.
I mean, that was why the masks, though, right? Because the whole point was you wouldn't know if you had it or not, and therefore it was better for everyone to just wear the masks.
I think it was, I think it had quite a gestation period, right? So it's like, you could be contagious before you were anyway ill. I don't remember there being much talk of like
maybe
whether
that
you
was
could
it.
just be because they used the phrase super spreader. Right, I'm remembering. Right?
Yeah.
Like they called it, you could be a super spreader because you wouldn't know anything was wrong and just give it to everyone you could possibly know.
Yeah. But that must happen with like normal diseases.
Yeah,
right?
it must happen with everything.
Not that COVID isn't, I guess but it was just a new normal disease that no one was ready for.
Just particularly virulent. Virulent. I can't say it. What's the word? Virulent. No, I can't say it properly.
Virulent. Yeah.
Virulent. No,
that one.
That one.
Virulent. Yeah. Let's go.
You got to blame the wireframe bunnies. It's all their fault. It's all their fault.
Well, that's good that we're surviving. Next week, Easter. Some time off. Hooray.
Couple of bank holidays. Love it. Love it. You've been watching any interesting TV in the last 2 weeks? TV or films or anything?
TV equivalent. Not the actual TV necessarily.
Yeah. I didn't turn it on. I just looked at my TV.
I watched. I did go to the cinema. Wow.
What?
Yeah, and I saw Project Hail Mary. Oh yeah.
Oh right.
The Ryan Gosling sci-fi thing.
Of course.
And it was pretty good. It was really fun. It had. I gather it's an adaptation of a book by the same guy that wrote The Martian or whatever, and it definitely had similarities with The Martian, but I thought it was better. Personally.
Oh, okay.
So if you like The Martian, and it had mixed in a bit of Interstellar in there and a bit of Arrival as well.
Ooh,
mix all those together. Add Ryan Gosling as like carrying the whole thing, right? And stir it up, and there you go.
I mean, I'm not the biggest Gosling fan, but like, I can't help he'd probably carry it better than. Oh, what's his face? Brad Pitt tried to with Ad Astra. Have you seen that? That
was terrible.
That was a weird
I saw that in the cinema as well.
So did I.
My brother, and like it got like a 5-star review in the Guardian, and like it was rubbish. I thought.
What a strange
Although I enjoyed
film,
the sequence with the crazy like drugged up space monkey or whatever it was. That was fun. But the rest of it, oh god, it was boring as well.
It was just
because
really
the
odd,
concept,
like, smuggling himself into an engine bay or something.
That's so stupid. Oh my god! And he's like climbing up the rocket while it's taking off or something.
Yeah,
it was so dumb. Because the concept was basically Heart of Darkness in space, right? Which isn't a bad idea. Like, Heart of Darkness was adapted into Apocalypse Now, which was famous.
Right.
So it's not unusual to adapt that. And it was quite a cool idea. And who was Colonel Kurtz? It was
I can't remember now.
From The Fugitive and stuff, and from Men in Black.
Will Smith.
Not the other. Not Will Smith. The other guy.
Tommy Lee Jones?
Tommy Lee Jones, yes. Which in theory should be good, right? And I actually, Brad Pitt is good. Like, he's really good in Fight Club.
I've got nothing
it was
against
just
Brad Pitt.
like, it was so rubbish. And little things I didn't like, for some reason, buggies on the moon have to look exactly like the buggies from the 1960s, even when they had like moon pirates were attacking them on buggies that also look like they're from the 1960s.
Oh, yeah,
it's like, what?
Do you
remember that? Yeah, it was rubbish. Anyway, Ad Astra not good. And it had a because the trailer for Ad Astra had like a sequence with a space elevator, right? That looked kind of cool. But it was not cool in the end. Yeah, but Project Hail Mary was definitely good.
Okay, because I kind of got those sort of vibes from what I've seen.
Well, I messaged, my brother said, should we go and watch it? And I said, better not be another Ad Astra, was what I messaged him. But no, it was pretty fun.
Good.
It's not too serious, but it has aspects of like serious kind of interstellar-y stuff, but it has definitely got some good comedy bits in it. I would definitely think, if you mix up The Martian with with Arrival and Interstellar. I think that kind of sums it up.
It's been so long since I've been at the cinema, I'm actually struggling to think what it was I last saw. I think we've had this conversation before on the cast, but like honestly, it might have been Avatar: Way of Water.
Oh gosh, yeah, because we all skipped Fire and Ash or whatever the hell.
I don't really know why I skipped it. I think it's just, well, going to the cinema, I've sort of gone off it a little bit, and also, I don't know, 3 hours is a long fucking time.
I know, but like, I think the idea of it worked for me with Way of Water because it was like, it was Christmas and with my family and there's nothing to do. And it's like, just escape for 3 hours into another world seemed to make sense.
Yeah, I can see that.
I mean, it helps that the cinema is like 5 minutes from my mum's house. So,
right. Yeah.
But we just didn't do that. I guess this Christmas landed in Wednesday or something. It was like midweek, so there wasn't enough. Seemed like there was less limbo to like. There wasn't like a spare day to spend in Avatar world.
Oh, interesting. Yeah, I thought we got an extra day this year for some reason. Maybe not. Maybe that was just my schedule. How that shaked out. Yeah, I know what you mean. It's like, yeah, that sort of makes sense if you've got an occasion for it. And I kind of like, I do associate like Avatar with like the 3D side of things, like because of that first film, right, was such a significant 3D film.
Yeah.
There's something lodged in me that's like, well, you got to see that. You've got to see that at a cinema, and it's like, but yeah, still can be fair. Also, I don't really have parenting. Kind of puts like some blockers on any plans you might make,
especially 3 hour plans. Yeah. Yeah, I have no real desire to watch Avatar on TV. On a TV, I mean.
I have seen the first Avatar on a home cinema sort of setup, like and it's fine.
Did we watch it? I think I might have seen it.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah, we might have done. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think it's fine. But yeah, in a strange way, like probably watching Fire and Ash when it comes home might be easier, right? It's like, yeah, you've probably got to set aside an awful long time, but also you can have a break without missing anything.
Right, you can pause it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Also, I hear it's kind of just the same film as Way of Water. You know,
yeah, I'm sure.
Like almost exactly the same. Which is a small problem. Anyway, yeah, the cinema. I started watching some more anime.
Yeah? I'll tell you what I've been doing, which is, we won't go into this, but for relaxing, I've just been sticking on the entirety of the cutscenes from Metal Gear Solid edited together into movies. Yeah, which is like 5 hours of Metal Gear Solid 3 cutscenes, basically. It's anime.
This is a podcast about video games.
Yeah, but yeah, real anime. You've been watching.
Super weird for Metal Gear 4 as well.
I mean, that's already weird. Yeah.
That must be super weird.
I haven't done 4. I did 2. I started with 2 and then I did 3.
I wonder if you even need like any of the gameplay in Metal Gear 4.
Because for these ones, whoever did it on this YouTube channel did it quite nicely and cut together bits of gameplay that you needed. But really, it's like... Okay. Yeah, and actually edited it with some music, so it
blended.
Blended, not too bad. But you don't need much, really. You want to kind of. It's not very dramatic if you don't like see the boss fight happening a bit. Sure, just cutting from like introduction of boss to they're defeated is a bit.
But I imagine a lot of them have like some kind of like defeated cutscene, right?
Of course.
So it doesn't seem that bad.
You just put a tiny little bit of gameplay in between of running around. And they seem a bit ridiculous in terms of gameplay, like Metal Gear Solid boss fights, no matter how dramatic they are. It's all a bit silly, isn't it? Like, that's not the strength of the gameplay.
There's always, Metal Gear is one of those games where the bosses tend to have, like, a quirk, right? Which, and they're a very gamey quirk, usually.
Yeah, exactly.
God, like what was it Metal Gear 4? It's probably most of the sniper battles, right? Where you have to pay attention to the wind direction and try not to, because they could smell you or something stupid.
Right, is that in 4? Because in 3 has 4, like the sniper at the end. Is it the end?
Yeah.
Is he the sniper? Yeah. The one with the eyeball that bulges out crazily, which is so cool. Yeah.
Yeah, I think it must be 4 that has the wind one.
Yeah, probably.
Because there's the one with quiet in 5 as well, right? That's the sniper battle.
Oh, yeah. But I actually played that one a lot. Yeah, that was cool until they ran out of content and they had to, like, make you do it again. Weirdly.
Right, yeah. I mean, the whole second half of Metal Gear 5 is a bit of a
disaster.
An unfortunate circumstance. Kojima shot too big for Konami. Let's put it that way. Like, he went too big.
Yeah. I mean, considering what he'd done before, you could see where he was heading.
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. Metal Gear 5 is a real shame. But yeah, just watching it actually sounds quite fun.
I mean, it's like, it's definitely, I mean, anime is definitely a big influence, right? And Japanese media in general, I suppose. But it's hard to tell what is it about Metal Gear that's like, there's definitely something unique about it, I think. But is this an anime thing to combine, like one of the things I always thought was, I don't understand how it works in Metal Gear, is it has elements of like what they call it, verisimilitude or whatever, where it's like very realistic stuff to do with military technology and things and tactics or whatever, combined with total fantasy superhero weirdo villains and psychic powers and stuff. You know, it's like which you wouldn't think would work, right? It's like Tom Clancy stuff is you know, like Hunt for Red October and all that stuff is meant.
It's pretty hard realism, right?
It's meant to be, or at least it's not really realistic, but it adds to the verisimilitude they call it, don't they?
Yeah.
How do you say that word?
I think you're saying it right. That sounds right to me.
Verisimilitude,
but it's like it's enough for the audience to be like, oh yeah, that's what happened.
Exactly, and that I like that in the Tom Clancy. Not that I'm a hardcore military fiction, reader or anything, but I enjoy that in like the Hunt for Red October or those Tom Clancy or Clear and Present Danger or stuff like that. But like, so you would think that adding total nonsense, combining that would just fall apart
with more realistic military stuff.
Yeah. Why does it work in Metal Gear Solid?
Yeah.
It's because you're going along being like, this is total nonsense, but it's very entertaining.
I want to say that that's not actually super uncommon in anime, right? Because a lot of like even the most bombastic sci-fi stuff tends to have some sort of backing, some sort of rooting, and that they often go to great lengths to try and explain.
Yeah. And that's a Metal Gear as well, extreme plot, right? Yes. And backstory.
Sometimes to its detriment. In fact, frequently to its detriment. But it's because it's strange, right? When you think of like, I don't know, even stuff like Evangelion, right? I can say, okay, most of the premises of Evangelion is mental. But,
yeah, absolutely mental.
Aside from the city underground and the Evas themselves, the rest is all like just that little bit future sci-fi, right? Just a little bit. And it's like the rest, it's like apart from those two things, it's like the rest of it is pretty rooted, which is weird.
It's just weird.
And that's probably true of like, I don't know, Ra Zephon comes to mind, actually. That was
sure. But they're all like that, though, aren't they? Yeah. It's just basically you just have, in some cases, even just modern day, but giant robots.
Full Metal Panic. That's pretty close as well. And like modern military with giant robots.
That's I mean, Metal Gear, the name Metal Gear just refers to a giant robot, right?
Pretty much.
It's the same thing.
Yeah, I think it's a bit of a trope, yeah. I mean, if you want to go slightly out of the box, it's like even Gundam to some degree tries to be a little rooted. It gets a bit mental when you get to the bits of Gundam where it's like emotion-driven powers.
Well, it's like they do have. It's just like in that case, it's just like regular space fleet plus giant robots.
Yeah.
where the giant robots make maybe even less sense, because at least when you're on the ground...
Or maybe more sense, because they don't need aero.
Well, yeah, but then when you're on... Why do you have legs if you're in space?
Sure. You could have made anything, but no, you made a man-shaped bot.
Anyway, what anime have you been watching?
I started watching Bullet on Disney Plus.
When one bullet isn't enough.
Yeah, which is kind of mental in itself. It has possibly the catchiest theme song. It's great. Sort of a rap, semi-rap banger. Yeah, I don't know. It's pretty cool. But anyway, it's
semi-rap.
Well, yeah, it's like it's Japanese female rap, but over a sort of like quite driving. Nice beat with like sirens going off and stuff like that. Yeah, it's really cool, catchy tune. Yeah, and it's about it's like almost typical, like it's like, hey, the protagonist is a teenager, right? Like classically a strong-willed teenager, trying to help out around, just doing his job, blah 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 blah. But then also does heists. And then gets wrapped up in conspiracies, and also the world is a bit like Mad Max, and also, and it's like, and there's some super mad, almost One Punch Man like people about the super crazy assassin types, and it just sort of, it is so relentlessly rapid in the first 3 episodes, where it's just like, it is just, I don't know if I've ever watched an anime as fast as this. It's just like, now this is happening, now this is happening, now there's a crazy car chase, now there's explosions, now there's, it is like so full on action for a bit, and then calms down into a sort of a rhythm, and the greater plot kind of starts to reveal itself, and then it becomes a bit more traditional, I guess. But it's it's insanity in its own special way. It's it's quite good. I'm enjoying it as well. Is what I want to say. It's like, it's very bright. It's very colourful. Don't skip the intro on any episode. Just watch it.
Always watch it all the way through.
I just want to hear that song again. Like, it's great. It gets into sort of like some. It's hard to talk about without spoiling it too much, because like, yeah, the plot after the first few episodes, the plot goes to perhaps into some slightly darker territory than you were expecting, but not super dark. You know, it's still pretty light, but it's a little bit conspiratorial and what's really going on kind of stuff. Yeah, it's quite good. I'm enjoying it.
Cool.
Just want to shout out. On the flip side, the other thing I actually got around to watching was the first Zootropolis. Zootopia. What's the UK name? I
haven't seen it.
Yeah, I always forget which one's which.
I think Zootopia is the real name, the proper name.
That's the US name.
Zootropolis is the UK name. Yeah.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. So I got around to watching the first one, and
you hadn't watched that until now.
No, I hadn't. I'm sort of catching up on Disney and Pixar, like, animation.
Held off for another couple of years, and then Miles would have enjoyed it more.
Yeah, he wasn't super into it, to be fair. Like, I've tried watching, like, a lot. I've talked about this before, like, watching Cars and stuff with him, but, like, where it wasn't, he's not super engaged with... He's not super engaged with good media.
Well, I think let's put it that way. He's still in the transitional period of being able to comprehend stories and stuff.
He's really getting there. Yeah. In fairness, he will describe, like, he'll cut like talk about a Paw Patrol episode, for instance. It's like, oh, for the love of God.
I mean, not much story, but no,
some. Paw Patrol is so bad.
They're all like that, though.
Yes, that's the other thing. There are so many shows that are just identical to Paw Patrol when you break it down. Like there are so many shows that are like, okay, here's the protagonists having a lovely day. They get a call. They go fix a ridiculously stupid problem. Yeah, everything's like, and that's just the show on repeat. But there's like Robo Ghetto or something that he was watching. Piggy Builders is acceptable. That's okay. But that's the same sort of plot, but for like casual building in the forest kind of stuff. It's fine. Super Kitties on Disney Plus is unbelievably terrible, but he watches that. Same premise.
Isn't Bluey good, right?
Bluey is fantastic. I will not have a bad word said about Bluey.
I don't understand how. I think Bluey's age range is just odd from what I've seen of it. It's like, it feels like it's way too complicated for children.
Yeah.
like you get episodes where it's fucking in media res, and they're just like, they come into like, they're already in the middle of a pretend scenario, and you're meant to pick that up from nothing.
Yeah.
And it's like, well, how is the child meant to manage that?
And there's some episodes where there's no vocals at all.
Yeah.
There's some that's very heavily, like there's one episode that's based on Gustav Holst's Jupiter, which is an amazing episode. But it's got to the point where Milesy has this book about the solar system that plays music from from the Planet Suite, and when he pushes the Jupiter button, he goes Bluey song,
Bluey song. Okay.
So
is that Jupiter?
Yeah, that's Jupiter.
That's part of Jupiter.
That's
anyway.
part of it. And it's it's an amazing Bluey episode as well. But it's so there's bits of it he picks up, but they're like the core plot. I'm kind of with you. I'm not sure he really follows it yet. I think if he gets a little bit older, he might start following some of the plot lines. Sure. Things. And there are probably some episodes in there that would really do him a good. He's not much of a trier, shall we say? Like he gives up quite easily. He goes, can't do it. And it's like, yeah, you can, man. Give it a go. You're really close. Can't do it. And it's like, so he probably needs to watch the episode about the kids all trying again, because Bluey's like that, and he's like, I can't do it, and watches everyone else keep trying, and they eventually do it and stuff like that. I'd want him to watch more of it rather than this absolute nonsense. It's like Paw Patrol, right? Is even more of a travesty because it's originally a Canadian show, right? But they redubbed it for the UK. And
oh, really?
And the UK dub is unbelievably terrible. Like, there is no emotional range in any character at all. Whereas the American one is actually, the Canadian/American one is actually legitimately okay. Like, it's not a great show, but the dub is better.
It's not like Bluey is redubbed from Australian.
No.
UK.
Well, maybe they don't want the Bluey problem where all your children sound Australian because they've been watching too much Bluey.
Sure, yeah.
Maybe they were like, maybe we should translate this into English.
Pavlova.
Because it was the Americans all sounding British because of Peppa Pig, right? That was
definitely. I don't really like Peppa Pig, but it's okay. It's okay. It's not. It doesn't fall into this category of every show is the same,
right? At least,
yeah. Like Puppy Pals or something on Disney is the same show.
You might as well say all of the ones on Disney are the same.
What were we watching? Like Postman Pat, I guess.
I mean, original Postman Pat's great. Yeah, but
yeah.
My
brother watched Thomas the Tank Engine.
Yeah, original Thomas the Tank Engine. Watched the hell out of that when I was little. Modern Thomas the Tank Engine is a crock of crap. Like it's awful.
Can you just play classic Ringo Starr Thomas the Tank Engine on YouTube or whatever?
I guess that's the only place you could find it, right? Like it's so hard to actually find the classic cartoons, like the actual ones. Like I think Danger Mouse is on Netflix, like the original.
You have to watch out for Danger Mouse. There's some racist jokes in there.
Sure, yeah.
Yeah.
He won't know.
No. Hey?
How most of the episodes are in the tundra because they couldn't afford to draw new backgrounds.
Yeah, they just keep reusing the same one. Yeah.
I loved it.
I loved it. My favourite is when it just goes black, right, and they're in the dark and you just see their eyeballs because they can't be bothered to animate more than just eyeballs, right?
They're so great that show was driven by budget. It's hilarious.
Yeah. Good grief. Did you see there's a Saturday Night Live UK?
I haven't. I've seen that it exists.
Yeah.
I don't know what the general reception has been.
It's on Sky, I guess. Well, you haven't got Sky, have you?
Sky. Oh, I don't think I've got the Sky package. I've only got Sky Essentials. So, like, actually, a lot of the Sky channels, like Sky One, I think, isn't included in that.
Not in Essentials? Wow.
No. Like, it's weird. Sky Essentials is kind of strange.
It's weird.
But, in retrospect, I probably shouldn't have Sky. I'm wondering if it's actually better. I've got it like primarily for some Sky shows that are on channels I can access, but also like it has this thing where you can just skip ads on like even the other services. So if you fire up the Channel 4 thing, it just has a skip ad function.
Oh, that's pretty good.
But then actually I was sort of thinking it through. It's like, wouldn't it be better? Okay, yes, you would have to use all of the services individually, which kind of is a pain in the ass. But maybe paying for each one of the services skip ads function separately actually ends up being cheaper.
Right.
So yeah, I'm considering that, but I'm locked into Sky for a little bit longer. Also, that Sky Stream puck is kind of buggy. I need to talk to them about that, actually. The sound goes effed up, and it's...
and you're sure it's not to do with your amp?
It's definitely not my amp, yes, which is dying, but like it's definitely not that. I've kind of always had a problem with Sky and sound. Like my Sky Q box occasionally would have it goes like cutty outy, like very digitally, like the sound just stops, but frequently. I
mean, that's your signal, isn't it? That's how the digital TV signal goes when it's bad.
It's like that, but it's clearly not. Yeah. It's like that, but I think it's a software problem or something like that. It's not like the stream I'm watching has those errors built into it, right? Because you could rewind it and play it back and it will be different.
Oh, right.
It's not the stream itself being broken, it's something in the box outputting the audio incorrectly. Kind of sucks. Also, like Sky, like one thing that I would absolutely love about Sky if it worked more than it does. And this is kind of a problem of like any modern like speech recognition, like or voice assistant or anything like that, is like it has a pretty decent like voice search function that they advertise all the time, right? They like hold the microphone button on the remote down and just say what you're looking for. And it's like, and when it works, that is legitimately faster than trying to find a way to type on the one on my
smartphone. Sorry, not smart TV YouTube app is inexplicably terrible. Like these days, the dictation stuff just on your phone or on your computer or stuff is pretty accurate or whatever. And I've actually gone and paid for one that's for my computer. I don't know if I mentioned this which is absurdly accurate to the point where I was like, I might as well just pay for this because it's so good. But anyway, that's by the by. The one on YouTube on my TV, which the microphone, remote's got a microphone in it. It's all set up for it, but it's just terrible. I'm repeatedly trying it. It never picks up what I'm trying to say. Right, it's so bad. Anyway, but it's such a good feature when it works. When you're trying to use amazing. A TV. Yeah.
So Sky kind of has the opposite problem in that it pretty much recognizes what I say with really, really high accuracy. Like that's not the problem. Like it will display on screen what I've said in an instant. Like that's great.
That's what you want.
The problem is then the search just doesn't work. Like it will sit just on please wait forever. Like it just doesn't complete. God. It just doesn't complete the action, which is terrible.
It's a bug, right?
Like, it's got to be. Like, yeah, it's really unfortunate because when it does work, it's lovely. Like I can go Great British Bake Off into it or something, and it will find all of the links. Like it will find the links to the Channel 4 service, the on-demand stuff, and like seamlessly, which is great. But yeah, getting it to the probability of it working is maybe 1 in 5. Like it's really low actual success rate. Sort it out. Because that's clearly a web service problem or, something like that. Some sort of, webby fail. Anyway, Zootopia. It's alright. I heard that film was quite... maybe I'm getting confused with Zootopia 2, but I heard people discuss Zootopia 2 as being, the show is unexpectedly horny. And
right, yeah. Unexpected. Well, they're probably naive in that case.
Maybe. But the first one, it kind of isn't. It's fine.
No, okay.
It is. Because they hadn't formed the relationship.
Yeah, I think that's true.
The first one's the relationship building, the second one is when it gets horny, obviously.
Yeah, the second one is they're a couple now, so I guess.
But not actually a couple, I guess.
partners in some form. Yeah, I think the internet shipped it.
Well, yeah, obviously.
But yeah, it's fine. It's like I don't know. It was nice to have a sort of, I wouldn't say the most compelling like mystery in a thing, but they kind of pulled it off without it being super obvious what was going on, right? You know, when some films try and do this, like, what is actually going on? Like, oh, we've got to solve this case. And sometimes you're just like way ahead. Well, a lot of the time in these sort of things, you're way ahead of it. And it's like, they actually did kind of keep it well paced and not too dumb. Let's put it that way. Not too dumbed down a mystery to unravel. So fair play to that. As usual.
Nice.
As usual with a lot of like non-Pixar Disney stuff. Could have been funnier. Like, it's fine, but it could have been funnier.
Yeah, there's nothing, as is proved, apart from, I guess, talent that stops you from making more family-friendly stuff actually funny. Like, The Simpsons is pretty funny.
Oh, absolutely. And Bluey's pretty funny in places.
Bluey's pretty funny, yeah.
Yes, but it's funny above child level,
exactly.
as we just discussed.
But that's what I mean. Like,
that's okay.
There's a definite skill to like blending the two, right? Like, it's got to be funny for kids in some parts, and it's got to be funny for adults subtly. That's fine. That's my non-gaming stuff. We should probably do some game stuff.
Probably.
That's because, why would we do that? Because this is a podcast about video games.
There's a shit ton of news.
Yeah.
Okay, let's talk.
A bunch of stuff happened. Let's get the biggie out of the way. Like, as usual, almost immediately after we did the last podcast, DLSS 5 revealed itself.
Crap.
Oh boy. Let's try. I'm going to try and tackle this like chronologically, like as things happened, and we'll kind of. I think we should step in maybe towards the end of the timeline to how we feel about it and stuff like that. Anyway, Digital Foundry were the first on the scene and got an early look at GTC, not to be confused with GDC. GTC is Nvidia's own conferencey event type thing.
My boss was away last week because he was at GTC.
Oh, was he?
And, yeah, because it's all AI crap. So he was like, yeah.
There's a lot of that, which is somewhat on the nose, I guess.
Yeah, okay. But I mean, he wasn't there for video games, is what I'm saying.
Sure,
but it's Nvidia, so they got
to do some graphicsy stuff. They've still got to be some sort of graphics company, I guess. But yeah, DLSS 5 turns up, and Digital Foundry, as I got an early look at what goes on with it, and they came away initially hyper impressed with what was being shown, because it looks like on the surface of it and through their own descriptions that what was going on is they'd be taking the image as generated by classic rasterization and not fully rasterization, whatever the render pipeline you call these days, classic graphics, and then taking that information to as it first seems improve the lighting quality of the image. Right, so take a scene and then subtly enhance it to be less than subtle, but then enhance it and they weren't coy about this, with an AI layer of some description, a model of some description to enhance the lighting. And at first glance, and to them, it seemed like, this is actually quite impressive tech. We'll come back to our opinions on that, I think, but like at first look. Yeah, all right, pretty interesting. However, once they put out their video almost immediately, talking about it, almost
because
immediately
you have to get ahead of the crowd, right? Because they've got the exclusive access, so they have to put something out.
Exactly.
Because otherwise the exclusive access wouldn't be worth as much if you don't do something right away, right?
Yeah. So that's exactly what they did. It was kind of a first impressions video, and stuff like that.
They were clearly sitting in a hotel room, right?
Yeah, absolutely. So they were quite up on it. However, not long after that, the internet obviously then gets able to see the footage properly and things like that on their own accord, and recoil heavily because it's doing way more than that initial description, and not necessarily in a great way. The biggest problem being that NVIDIA really lent into how it was improving faces. And I use improving in quote marks because it is AI filterifying faces.
Right.
And it really is when you start paying attention to that stuff. To the point where they showed some clips from, the big poster image is Grace from Resident Evil 9, right? And you apply the filter to it, and it does not look like the same person anymore. It really doesn't. Like, Grace in that scene is supposedly, like, not supposed to be wearing makeup or anything like that. She's supposed to be on the way. I think it's at the start of the game where she's on the way to the, like, that initial crime scene that we've seen in the trailers and things like that. I've not played Resident Evil. I don't really know. But anyway, she's not supposed to be, like, super glammed up. But this filter applies and she's clearly glammed up a bit. Like, there's probably a ring light in front of her face.
Right.
Her lips get plumper for some reason.
Can I wind back a sec to what DLSS is or was? Because my understanding of it is probably very wrong or whatever.
Sure.
But what I thought, so it's called, I mean, names don't mean anything, do they? But it's called deep learning super sampling, right? But what I thought the original generation was, and obviously they've gone through 4 generations before this, but what I thought the idea is because super sampling is like to get rid of, at a basic layer, is like to get rid of jaggies, you run the game at huge resolution, way bigger than your monitor, and then you downsize it, and that gets you the best. It's like in the real world has infinite resolution, right? So if you take a photo of it, you then are sampling it at a resolution. But of course, there's no jaggies because the real world has infinite resolution, right? So I thought the idea of super sampling was have a supercomputer run your game and then downsize that. So some people brute force that, right? Like on old games with a powerful computer, you can run them at, multiples of the resolution of your screen and then sample down, and that will give you the presumably best image, right?
A lot of games have the render scale option, and the render scale option can go above 100%.
Above 100%, yeah. So that was what I thought.
Sampled image, and it looks nice. Guild Wars 2, interestingly enough, is the first game I remember doing that because it just had a straight up 2x mode, and it would run at double. Is that technically 4 times resolution, but it would multiply each dimension by 2, and you'd get a really nice looking image. But
really nice.
But boy, that's a lot more rendering power needed.
So what I thought the original idea of DLSS was, you run the game with a supercomputer equivalent, or in the lab, and then you both at normal resolution and at ridiculous resolution, which you can do with the brute force of your very powerful computer with loads of graphics cards, right? Then you train a model specifically on, given this input, produce this output, where you're saying that the low res frame, please give me the high res frame. And you do that, you train that on the game specifically. That's what I thought. And then, this is very simplified. You then ship that model and you run that and you make sure it can run within the space of, 20% of a frame. And then you run the game. Then you can even run the game at a lower resolution than your screen and produce an output that's as if you were super sampling from a supercomputer. And that's what I thought it was. And of course it produced a bunch of artifacts and all kinds.
Yeah, I believe that's how it started. Like DLSS originally, the intent was supposed to be, this is supposed to be a better AA solution than TAA. Right?
Exactly.
Like a machine learned anti-aliasing solution.
Exactly.
Which I think has now been kind of like, they've kind of rebranded as DLAA. You can still do that with these things, but it's DLAA is a part of DLSS now.
I see. Okay.
So I think
because my understanding was that the point of super sampling, if you forget the machine learning, was basically to a ridiculous AA method that required a very powerful computer.
So I think you're right in that, and that's how it starts. It's like it was a sort of super sampling, right? But it was super sampling from a model generated
thing. So I thought that all the weights in the model were trained specific to the game, and then they would ship the models per game in big patches.
Yeah,
right?
I think you're right, and I think that's how that started. I think like games originally had to provide their own model and had to really, they had to. It was a development process to opt into DLSS.
To opt into it, you would have to get the model trained.
Yeah.
But clearly, they've gone into generative AI that's using training data. I mean, evidently, that's way beyond the game, and that seems to be the root of the problem.
So I think that somewhat changed a few DLSS versions ago, right? It became a thing where the model wasn't necessarily. I think developers still can, but you don't have to train the model on your game. Because it became possible, right, to apply newer DLSS models through hackery to games that didn't run that model, right? I think Digital Foundry have covered this,
right,
like in depth at times, like with games like Cyberpunk and stuff, where they were before the newer versions of DLSS were available, you could hack some DLLs around and force the game to use the newer models provided by DLSS. But then clearly there's no game training there. But they might have been, because you don't know what NVIDIA have used to build the model in the first place, right? Like
exactly
some black box stuff. It probably had some cyberpunk knowledge, right? But who knows? But I think it's moved to the point where DLSS is a more general model, out of the box, right? And on top of that, to add to what you were saying, it's not really like they've gone to the step further. They moved from just a straight anti-aliasing solution to being a upscaling solution, right? That's important to note.
Right.
DLSS is an upscaling solution primarily now.
Right.
So you run the game at, I don't know, like, I think performance mode is like half resolution, like 50.
Right.
They will then use the machine learning model to blow that up to your native res of your screen. So it has
the
morphed
same idea.
Yeah.
But like, it's clear that like, it's not just training data from other games that are now like a generalized video game. It's clearly got, I mean, that's what is obvious from the first shot of this DLSS 5 is there's clearly training data from photography and real world stuff, right?
Because it's clear, like, the grace shot in particular, like, feels so much like AI. The face it changes grace into just really feels like generic AI face, right?
Yes, it does.
That particular female face.
I mean, it feels like
just feels like the most common thing you see in like.
It feels
AI
like the face that we've just been seeing in the adverts that keep popping up on this webpage that's open from shitty AI games.
Yeah, absolutely. Like there's something about that face that just is like so the AI face to me, and it's weird because I actually think the other face examples that they show end up being more convincing. Like they do, I think it does a better job of those than it does the Grace face, which is their like hero shot, and it's like that's so clearly out. Anyway, let's come back to some of this. I think let's run through it a bit. Like there was they showed plenty of footage. They showed some Starfield stuff. They showed some Skyrim stuff, I think Skyrim remastered stuff. And for the most part, like I actually kind of do think they were doing what it was originally said on the tin, like just ignoring the face part of it. But then things get a bit like, let's say, combative. Jensen Huang, like almost immediately, is pulled into a Q&A session for Tom's Hardware, I think, and is questioned about the reaction to this, to which he says,
which is overwhelmingly negative, right?
Overwhelmingly negative, yeah. By this point, even Digital Foundry, I think, have maybe not before that, maybe just after Jensen Huang spoke about it again. I think that at that point they even themselves were like, yeah, now we've had a chance to actually properly look at it. It's like, yeah, we were slightly too positive on this. They had walked back by that point. But yeah, Jensen Huang just straight up said the reaction is wrong, which is like, I don't know. I don't know if you could say that. Like, yes, you're completely wrong. Like DLSS 5 fuses controllability of the geometry and textures and everything about the game with generative AI.
I doubt he deeply understands what's going on anymore.
I really doubt it, yeah.
I'm sure he did. I'm sure he's very clever and did at some point understand what...
The thing is like, if that statement was true, that makes DLSS 5 way more interesting than what it actually is doing. Because Jacob Freeman, who is an NVIDIA evangelist, God knows what that role actually really is, kind of only then sort of came up with his own statement saying, confirming that what everyone thought was that it was only really using the 2D pixel data and motion vector data like DLSS normally does.
I think even in the super positive original Digital Foundry video, I'm not sure if it was the follow-up, but they could see basically screen space artifacting because all it's got to work with is what's in screen space. Right?
Yes, yeah. They were. I think they talked about that particularly in the Starfield footage because the edges had no reflection detail to work from, because that was one of the weird, it's both cool and kind of weird. Like one of the shots they really focused on DF was a Starfield shot where there weren't reflections in the floor before, but DLS5, the AI, had looked at it and thought, that material should be shiny. So it added some reflections to the scene.
Yeah, but it doesn't know where lights are in the scene.
Apart from being able to derive it from what else it can see in the scene. Yeah, which I guess, if anything's going to do it, AI is probably could. Right, it's going to do a reasonable job, but maybe not necessarily a stable job. Because that's one of the things, right? It's like they weren't allowed to go super hands-on with this stuff, although the demos they saw were live. There's big questions about motion clarity and how it actually works in scenes with significant motion, right? Which then became the subject of discussion because there is a shot of EA's football club in the official footage. Right, where they turn DLSS 5 on, and the motion clarity is fucking awful.
Right. I guess that they're working on it, right? It's not released.
This is the other thing. This is pretty early, in their words, pretty early stuff, and it's not due out or in any form and towards the end until the end of the year.
Give them a chance.
So there could be but the FIFA footage is kind of nuts. Like it really messes up the shirt texture. The football contorts and disappears out of frame frequently.
I mean,
the guy's arm disappears at one point.
I mean, the arm is like, that is like classic AI. It's just because he's turned away, so it's like it's losing it behind him and all that stuff. But like the football is like,
it's a context thing, right? It loses the context of where the arm is and then doesn't quite get it right when it
But the football should be like, surely the easiest thing for this AI to do, because it's like, it's a very specific shape and also a sphere, so it will look the same from any angle.
Right, yeah.
And it's using motion vectors where it should be traveling in a straight line because of physics. It's like, that should be the easiest thing for the AI to handle, but it doesn't.
I mean, it's got to also contend with like some of the worst shots of the football, right, are when it's like interacting with the net.
Sure, but you'd think the AI would be able to figure that out as well.
Perhaps, yeah. At least make clean frames.
I mean, you'd think what the AI should do with the ball in the net situation is erase the net, essentially. Because it should have much more trouble predicting where each of the individual bits of net are moving, rather than the solid sphere of the ball.
I see your point, yeah. Perhaps the net should have been more wrong than the ball in that circumstance. But also, like, that's the other thing to think about here. It's like, in these demos, I mean, this is happening in real time, right? Which is actually, like, kind of impressive. Like, yes, in the demos they were using an entire RTX 5090 just to run DLSS 5 on, and the 3D software running on the other card. So, slight concern of optimization there, and the power needed to actually do this thing. But hey, it's doing it in real time, which is actually kind of impressive when you think about it. Like, it's...
So the demo, had the powerful card running the game, and then a second one doing this, right?
Entire other card dedicated to just doing.
But it's a demo. But still,
it's a demo. Yeah, but still. But like, it kind of, I do find that element of this quite impressive, right? Like, if you were to go and try and gen a video, or when you gen an image, it takes time for it to do. So the fact that this was able to do it in real time at 60 frames per second, kind of impressive, and possibly the explanation for why some of these motion clarity issues exist. Right, because it's just perhaps not got the time budget to actually figure that stuff out, and so it's doing a best case solution. Which then begs the question, like, maybe this stuff is better if it had just stuck to the original remit of being able to improve lighting in a scene. Like, why does it have to edit things the way it's doing. Like, yeah, okay,
it
then
seems
it falls
to me
perhaps
like
more into the category of like what people are complaining about, that this is like an AI filter, and I think they mean that in the terms of like a Snapchat filter,
like
right?
a Snapchat.
But actually, like, if it was doing like what do you call it? Like in video editing land, it would be like a LUT, I guess, like a lighting profile that you can assign to the video. If it was doing something more like that to naturalize the lighting in the scene or stuff like that, without editing the shape and content, perhaps this would be a much more acceptable thing.
I think the problem is it's not restricted enough. Like it's basically, what it's working with is the full screen image of the frame, and it therefore has to output a full screen image of a frame, rather than if it actually if it could see the geometry or whatever, it could actually go in there and be like, oh, here's an edge between two polygons, so I should smooth it out and only edit those pixels.
So it's like,
it seems like the people best placed to do that better is not NVIDIA, it's in fact Epic, right? And you know, if you could invest into a model that understood what was going on in the game engine of Unreal Engine more, that might be a big advantage, right?
Yeah, maybe this is something where the NVIDIA level isn't actually the right place to do it. I think you might be onto something. Maybe it's a post-processing thing that perhaps the game engines need to be aware of, because they need to be aware of how the scene functions. Maybe that's why NVIDIA can't do it. Like NVIDIA, like the card clearly knows about 3D, right, and stuff like that. And like the card has to have some knowledge of the geometry of a scene and the lighting elements of a scene, but really they're not
to render it.
But really, they're probably only going to know like a subset, right? At any like point in time, the card's probably only dealing with a subset of that overall knowledge, because the game is depending on how the game engine provides it to the card to do the work, right? It's so perhaps NVIDIA, but that's a good argument. NVIDIA might not be in the best place to actually do stuff like this. And so they're forced to do this whole frame black. Although, in fairness, something we haven't touched on here, and something I don't think they used in these demos, it's like there are tools apparently in this for scaling back the effect and like.
Well, so they say.
So they say, but I think that's necessary, right? So you could, like, perhaps for HUD elements and things like that, where you don't really want the effect applying, you're going to have to be able to say these pixels leave alone.
Well. Unless that is a layer that you could actually get from geometry, where it's like just if you're rendering the HUD elements effectively as like a flat polygon on top of the image, you can be like, don't edit anything that's related to that polygon.
Yeah, and I think there's like some elements of the render pipeline, right, where modern games already do, right, where they use this scaling area, like a layer behind the HUD, right?
Presumably,
and the HUD is then separately rendered
presumably
on top.
Everything has to do that, or otherwise as soon as you started moving your HUD would motion blur.
Yeah, hello Immortals of Avian, where that's exactly what happened if you turned on the FSR mode on Xbox. Like the HUD started fucking up and it looked awful. I gotta be honest, like from my perspective, like when it was doing like the lighting on scenes, on scenery, I really thought the effect was pretty damn impressive. Like, I don't know, for me, the standout shot, like, was the Assassin's Creed stuff that's shown in the Digital Foundry footage, right? Where he's doing it, he's on a eagle-like location, right? Just surveying, on an overcast day, surveying an awful lot, the top of a tree canopy, right? In theory, not the most difficult thing to do, but there were gaps in the trees and stuff and perhaps the interactions between leaves that traditionally, man, that's hard actually for a 3D engine to deal with realistically, right? There's so many shadow interactions there. And I thought what we could see, at least from the off-camera shots that we got, that the lighting applied to that scene looked really natural and like really like, especially like little alcoves in the trees where the way it darkened in a certain way. There was something about that shot where I'm just like, okay, that actually is quite impressive. That is a realism overhaul right there. It's like like that is looking nice. Admittedly, yeah, who knows what it would do if you swung the camera wildly around? Probably nothing good. But
I feel like I didn't see that shot enough. Like every time I see that shot for like a second or whatever, because I haven't watched the whole thing, it's just like It just looks different. I wouldn't have said it looks better or worse.
Right,
it just
yeah.
looks different. Because, I mean, maybe I'm not looking at it hard enough.
I think it was Assassin's Creed that they also showed like an interior, right, of like an ancient building that looked quite nice with the new lighting. It looked a bit more like bounce lighting had more of an effect, right? So it's
As long as it's in screen's face.
yeah, exactly.
But Assassin's Creed Shadows has, if you have a powerful computer, it has good path tracing, right? Or at least ray tracing.
Yeah,
it's a really good looking game already.
Absolutely, yeah. Shadows can be turned quite high.
Yeah.
So it's pretty good looking game. Yeah, so maybe that helps. Maybe it had a really good starting point.
Yeah.
My problem with when I was looking at it with the environments, not the faces, is that like a lot of the time it just eliminates like fog and stuff because it can't handle like atmosphere basically.
Yeah, there was that one. I mean, we talked about this off air, but there's this one Starfield shot right where the lighting style seemed to dramatically change for an NPC's face. Right, there's a hard shadow where his cap lies on his face, and the AI takes it and basically softens it into nothing.
That's the face again. That's the
because it's doing
trained
the face
on a ring light photograph of where the face is fully illuminated, so it can't handle that shadowing.
It's not thinking about the lighting at that point. Yeah, it's just thinking about.
I was talking about more like even just back in the grey shot in the Resident Evil, when you look in the background in the street where it's like it's a misty New York-ish looking ground fog kind of day. Wet.
Or just
But it just like
in the air
just clears all that out, like way into the distance.
Right. Yeah.
There's no depth. It like eliminates the depth of the scene essentially.
Did it? Can you remember if it did? I haven't got it in front of me, but do you remember if it like broke the depth of field effect in that shot as well? Or if there was, I don't even know if there was.
I don't know. I didn't see that as much.
That feels like something it could potentially accidentally manipulate as well, right?
Yeah. Well, it's like the fog is essentially kind of the same idea, but like the trouble with telling the AI to like increase the resolution of his image is, does it realize that certain things are meant to be blurry? Like depth of field and things that are inside a fog layer. Where it's like, can it handle that idea of like semi-transparency almost?
Yeah. Yeah, I see what you mean. I've got the shot up there, and the depth of the. It's not really fog, is it? It's that kind of like desaturation of color and of contrast that you get from distance, especially in like misty and rainy conditions.
It's like that ground mist that you get when it's wet,
when it's damp. Yeah, I see your point. That is definitely removed from this comparison.
And I think that also did that in like one of the shots from the Harry Potter game as well. When there was fog in the street, it seems to have a real problem with fog in streets.
Yeah,
from those two different shots.
I mean, that Harry Potter shot was another shot where I thought that where there's the guy going presumably under Gringotts or whatever, like on the minecart,
right?
Where that guy's face just like seemed totally different to me once the DLSS had passed over. But then there are other shots like the where you've got a bad NPC model from the Starfield stuff where it's like, oh yeah, no, that is actually pretty good what is done there. To the point where I've got a bullet point here because there was a note like after the dust had settled a little bit on all this, the Starfield contingent came out going, no, actually we want this. Because it makes the game look better than it did.
Well, sure, but that's like. Yeah. Well, it's not going to help with the rest of Starfield. It's not going to help with the game.
No. Yeah, the problem with the game, yeah.
But again, we haven't seen like what the combat looks like in that game, right? Again, motion clarity. How does it deal with that?
Yeah. What if you fire a laser? Can it handle a laser?
Laser. Does it know what a laser is? Does it turn it into a glowing?
Yeah, like would it remove?
Does it turn
like,
it into a rave stick?
Yeah, remove the blue around it because it's like the fog. So you just like get a sharp pixel line of laser light, which would be technically kind of more realistic in some ways.
It's accurate, yeah, but it makes the game look like Laser Quest. Quasar. Anyway, what a time to be alive.
Well, we'll see if it ever actually comes out later this year.
Yeah,
and in what form,
and how you can even run it.
Well, yeah, if they manage to release, they can probably just put it out and be like, we put it out, but no one can actually run it anyway because no one has 2 graphics cards.
2 graphics cards, yeah. Slightly nuts. Yeah, can they optimize this thing? Is it actually beneficial on your,
and obviously
on your rig? Like, that's the thing, because that's the other thing people are somewhat like complaining about. This perhaps should have been branded outside of DLSS.
It should have been called anything else because the old DLSS actually was meant to be a power saving, whereas this is clearly not a power saving.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, the overall effect of DLSS to render low quality, but then use upscaling to get it back up to the higher resolution, generally saves you. Because if it saves you rendering cycles, right? So higher frame rates, thumbs up.
If game makers are going to be putting this in their options menu and just have a drop-down box, which is like, here's the DLLA and here's the TSR and then DLSS 5, it's like, these are not the same options any longer. No. Those don't belong in the same box.
Yeah.
I would imagine when this launches, like, they'll have games that support it will have to have a big old checkbox to say, like, do you want 5? Or some other name, like, do you want to turn 5 on? It's like, no. Like, is 5 just the AI layer, right? And it just gets confusing from here, like, how they end up branding and how that option ends up being labeled. Unless what will probably happen is, like, someone like Unreal will the engine will probably, like, coin a name for what this is actually doing, what this filtering is. NVIDIA will still call it, it's a feature of DLSS 5, but someone's going to have to give that feature a name, right?
I mean, they have got a bunch of shitty names for it. Like, they call it neural rendering.
Neural rendering, yeah. Well, that's what Jensen has called it on stage. Like, whether that's actually what... I don't think that's been used enough for it to be classed as its official name.
I mean, speaking of Metal Gear, let's hope he's actually running it on brains in jars.
Oh, God.
Yeah.
Secretly, that's what happens. Yeah. Like, that's what the 60 series...
Child brains in jars.
That's NVIDIA 60 series. Coming to you soon.
Yeah, it's all run by GW inside Arsenal gear. And you're all along.
Oh, man. Let's move on, shall we? That's a very Digital Foundry thing to say, isn't it? Let's move on.
I would say about them, though, that because NVIDIA is like one of the biggest, most valuable now companies in the whole world, and this is like a massive deal and stuff. But the Digital Foundry is like 5 guys, right, that some of us follow and stuff. And yeah, you said like they were super positive and then sort of toned it down a bit, but actually like there was a split clearly within those guys.
Oh, sure. Well, that was the thing.
The other guys were not happy.
Well, no, they weren't happy because they had time to ruminate on it, I guess. That's the thing. It comes down to like, yes, Digital Foundry were too positive on it in their initial reactions, but they had literally just come out of a showing of it and recorded this thing, to which they've then said, it's like, yeah, we shouldn't have done that. Like, we probably should have actually taken the time to investigate this further before we put out any kind of impressions.
Indeed. It seems like the more positive on AI guys went to the AI conference, funnily enough. And then the other ones were like, what the heck?
Yeah, because Linneman and Battaglia were definitely like, no, like, this is so not right.
Exactly. So we'll see. I don't know if Linneman's done anything since for them. I can't remember. Maybe he has. But yeah,
I think he's
let's see how it pans out.
Working on more of the Xbox 360 because it's the Xbox 360's like anniversary of launch.
Just do the retro stuff. I think there's stick to that for a while.
Yeah,
sensible.
That's generally what he's done, what he's been up to these days. Shout out DF, good stuff. Still good stuff. And I think it's fine to occasionally cock up. I should probably
yes, exactly.
That's absolutely fine. No shade. To those people that sent them death threats, that was an actual thing because of this coverage.
What?
Fuck you straight to hell.
That's awful. Any interaction on the internet ever. Yeah. You can say one word and get death threats.
Marmalade. There we go.
Probably more like Marmite. That's a classic. That'll get you.
I'm at the now. I'm going to have the Marmite crew going, why don't you talk about Marmite? Like, you can die.
I mean, you will if you eat enough Marmite.
Remove it from the world.
Next news item.
Legal fun times.
Yay.
a judgment has happened in the Subnautica 2 case, with Crafton effectively versus the employees, with a judge ruling that CEO Ted Gill must be unfired. Essentially, he's got to be reinstated as the CEO of Unknown Worlds. The weird, like, early access bonus scheme that, I say weird. The bonus scheme itself wasn't weird. There was like, if we go early access by this date,
you get money.
Then the employees will get a bonus,
yes.
right? That this whole thing was based on Crafton trying, like, very not, I wouldn't say, somewhat unsubtly trying to avoid paying people that bonus. So that, as a result, that bonus scheme is allowed to be reinstated,
and with like extra time as well.
With extra, well, obviously extra time. Well, the game didn't go into early access because Crafton stopped it from going into early access, so people wouldn't get the bonus. So that's been the deadline's been extended to September of this year at the earliest, and release date control must be handled by Unknown Worlds, not Crafton. Which is cool. That means that game's probably going to get the time it needs to cook.
Well, maybe.
Maybe. Yeah.
We'll see, because who knows what...
I guess Crafton could still pull the funding. They're probably allowed to do that.
And who knows what sort of ridiculous situation that having to, like, come back to your job after being fired for several weeks and then, like, reintegrate into that whole thing.
So that's the core problem, because they fired so many staff.
Yeah.
As a result of all this. Yeah. Some of it. The CEOs and some of the employees. It's, they've got to come in and, well, if they can come in, obviously, like, I guess, as I said, CEO Ted Gill will return for sure. But it's like, but other people may have moved on to other work now, and it might not be so easy for them to come back. So the team working on the game might be a little compromised in some ways.
Although, supposedly, if we go by the earlier reports, like, the game kind of was ready for early access anyway, so maybe they won't actually have to do any work to still get to this bonus state.
Exactly, yeah. So, I don't know, good news for developers, I suppose. Like
a few developers.
Don't be an asshole publisher. We need more stories that go this way, right, in this industry.
Speaking of legal news, because I'm going to slip in an extra news story here. Speaking of legal news, or what feels like it should be legal news, but somehow isn't legal news, apparently. So, Open Transport Tycoon, which I've been playing recently.
Right, yeah.
Has done a very weird thing, because, so, Atari, or the shitty crap that is Atari nowadays, the corpse of Atari, basically.
Zombie Atari.
Yeah.
In fairness, they keep paying, Digital Eclipse to do those, like, museum pieces, so, that part of Atari's still alright.
Kind of. So, just re-release the old shit. But that's what's happened here, is that, like, so Atari have already previously fucked up Roller Coaster Tycoon, so now they're here to fuck up Transport Tycoon.
Okay, in what way?
Well, they've basically re-released the original Transport Tycoon Deluxe.
Right.
On Steam and GOG. And because of that, because Open Transport Tycoon is based on that, they, I guess, made a deal with Atari to sort of turn Open Transport Tycoon into a mod on those platforms. So if you go to the store page on Steam and GOG, you can't get Open Transport Tycoon, even though it's free, without buying original Transport Tycoon.
I didn't realise Open TTD was on Steam.
Yes, it's only got on there relatively recently, but it's been like a year or two.
Okay.
It's been a while. But yeah, Atari came to this deal where they can still be on Steam, you just can't get it without buying the original.
That kind of makes sense, right? Because, or does it?
Well, in quite a number of years ago, it would have made more sense because earlier versions of it. Yeah, earlier versions of OpenTTD still use the graphics files.
Right.
But they made an entirely new set of graphics like several years ago at this point, so you can run Open Transport Tycoon without any of the original files now. So it would have made more sense if that was still the case.
I guess it depends on what the code is now, right? Like, is it a full re-implementation from the ground?
Presumably, yeah.
Or is it... yeah, presumably. But if it's based on any of the, decompilation or reflection of the original code, then is there a trademark or some kind of infringement there?
But the other problem
in hot water.
The other problem with
probably
this,
true as well.
The other problem with this, which is why it's actually weird, is that it's only on these storefronts. You can still go to the OpenTTD website and get it for free.
Sure. Yeah.
Which really just is Atari wants money. It's just all this deal is doing is giving Atari ill-gotten money by people who want Overtransport Tycoon and not realizing you can still get it for free.
I think I guess. But I think it's also, I can kind of see Atari's side on this because, I guess it's again, they called it OpenTTD and not Transport Tycoon Deluxe. On purpose to avoid trademark infringement, right? But it's hard to say that it's not the same game, right? It's hard to it's very openly that. So I guess it's difficult for them to say it's hey, no, we're gonna allow you to distribute this on stores, even though you're very clearly us. You're very clearly our game.
Then why would they still let them distribute it at all in the freeways? It's
it is. It's interesting. I think that's in some ways that's probably actually the best compromise Beth could have made.
It probably is the best compromise, but it also has some other, I said it was not a legal story, but it feels like it could be. It has some other weird legal implications of putting a product on a store that you can get for free somewhere else, and it's still technically labeled as free on Steam, but you can only ever buy it in a bundle with the original that has a price.
Game. Yeah, that is an interesting precedent.
Then also the other thing about it is Steam reviews, because when it updated the Steam store page for Overtransport Tycoon that had reviews, all the reviews there are now labelled as product received for free, as if they'd been given the product for free, because that was when they could have received the product for free before it was attached to this price product.
And also, it doesn't actually apply to the new product; it applies to the OpenTTD mod part.
They are still separate store pages, so the reviews for actual actual Transport Tycoon will have its own store page.
It didn't weirdly
it didn't copy them. It just relabeled them as essentially
as a review for the DLC. Or mod,
a review.
However, it's packaged on Steam.
It's just that it's labelled as product received for free, rather than before when it was just a free game.
Right.
It's some aspect of is that misleading to the consumer, the fact that these reviews were written for a different situation where they did get a product for free without having this attached price to the other half of it.
Yeah, I wonder if that's ever happened before. I wonder if games on Steam were made free at some point and then got a price later. And as a result of that, the customers that started when it was free, if they reviewed anything, they get tagged the same way.
Technically that product received for free tag didn't even exist a few years ago. Steam reviews had existed long before that tag did, but
right.
Yes, it's just a very weird situation. So, I'm sure if you go and look at the Steam store reviews on the Transport Tycoon and Open Transport Tycoon pages now, there'll just be a million that say, don't get Open Transport Tycoon on Steam, go and download it from their actual website.
Probably, yeah.
Consumer advice.
So what is the Atari release then? Is it more like what the original?
I think it is just the original.
They've allowed it to. They've
made it run.
They've gone it essentially. Yeah.
But then, does this mean that Atari is going to do what they did with Roller Coaster Tycoon and try and make a new one and then fuck it right up?
Yeah, I think that's exactly.
You're going to have Transport Tycoon World, I guess. That was what Roller Coaster Tycoon got.
Huh. Interesting.
But no actual legal action apparently was necessary to come to this deal.
Just, a mild inconvenience, I guess, if you wanted to try and get more friends to play OpenTTD. Is it still cross? Is it technically like cross-play? So if some people have the Steam version and people have the non-Steam version, it's happy.
It doesn't actually use Steam's backend for the multiplayer because it never did before it was on Steam.
Cool.
The only thing that's different is like, it has Steam like integration for like the friends list stuff, but I mean. The other problem of getting it from their website is obviously no auto updates, which is the advantage of Steam.
Right, yeah.
Not that they patch that game super often or anything any longer, but, it's still a thing.
Interesting. All right.
More news.
Very small bit of news.
Compared to all these other huge bits.
Yeah. Sony are apparently phasing out the PlayStation Network branding sometime this year.
To call it what?
That's exactly. What else would you call it?
I mean, it wasn't very good branding. So
no, it's not. Sense. It's not very imaginative, but they have had it since PS3.
It's descriptive. That's the important. Surely that's the important thing.
I forget. Was it even called that when PlayStation 2 had its online functionality? I can't even remember. I think it's probably come about in PS3 era.
Yeah, well, I mean, probably didn't have a name in the original forms.
No, it was like the online adapter or something.
Compared to Xbox Live, which was very strong.
Yep. And until they kind of ditched that for Game Pass Basic or whatever it is. I think that's what you have to have now. To get the equivalent of Xbox Live. I don't know. I don't know what else they would call it. Like PlayStation. Would it just be PlayStation Online or?
You can't call it PSO. That's going to have brand confusion.
Yeah, Sony won't care.
So obviously no one actually cares about Fantasy Star Online. Yeah.
I guess I could just call it PlayStation Online or PlayStation Pass.
PlayStation Live.
PlayStation Live, yeah.
PlayStation Live.
Or as I said last week, they should just call it PlayStation Home. Confuse everyone even more.
Yeah. I think that would be pretty funny. Nintendo is reducing the Switch 2's manufacturing rate by 30% following a significant slowdown in US sales.
That makes sense on several different levels. I mean, the obvious, the easier, like the regular reason being that like all the people who've bought it have bought it. Like, obviously sales are going to slow down, but then there's all this other shit going on as well. That's also fucking up the sales as well. So,
well, sure. Like Switch 2, like had a faster sales rate than the original, right?
Yeah.
Mainly because the original was like actually quite hard to get hold of when it first launched. So they solved that problem, and then so everyone who wanted one got one. And now the tail has just come early, I think.
And then all the other stuff on top of that.
Yeah.
All the other worldwide events on top of that.
Yes. And the general... I don't know if it's had... I think the Switch 2 has like mostly avoided price hikes thus far.
Well, apart from presumably the immediate one, as we talked about with Nintendo suing the US government and all that.
Sure, yeah. Well, yeah, presumably the original price, right, may have been higher than it needed to be because of the tariff stuff kicking off just when this was launching. I'm gonna skip to the other one because the corollary to this, or the opposite, I suppose, is in the UK, the PlayStation 5 is getting a £90 price hike.
What, the base one?
Both versions. I think the £90 I think applies is for the version with the disc drive.
Right. I just mean not just the Pro one or whatever.
No, not just the Pro one. Actually, I don't know. I haven't seen what the price hike on the Pro is, if there is one. This is just the regular PS5 with a drive is going up by £90, with Sony stating global pressures, Ramageddon. As the
Ramageddon, holy crap!
That makes the disc version of the console a almost amazing 569 UK pounds.
We'll add another 30.
But that means the US price must be pretty much on the money, $599 US dollars now, right? Dollars. Like when that happens.
Oh boy!
Yeah.
So they better put out Ridge Racer.
If only. It's the only way to sell a console.
It's the only way to sell a $599 price. You have to say Ridge Racer afterwards.
Enemy crabs in there as well.
Yeah, amazing. I mean, another sign that it's not looking good if the PS6 and new Xbox, the Helix, are like due to launch next year or anything. It's like, that's not a good sign.
I guess they did well to get their install base in before the global economy crashed.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
Just means I won't own a PS5 now.
No.
Oh no, am I going to skip a console? Like, my collection will not be complete.
Wow.
Yeah, what else is going on? Epic Games. Now, on the face of it, this is yet another mass firing of stuff. Because Epic Mega Game, what are they called? Are they just called Epic Games? Are they still called Epic Mega Games?
I don't think so.
Like, anyway, Epic,
No, that's old.
Epic.
Although her work for them, and she said that the staff gay society is called Epic Mega Gays. Apparently.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah, which is quite good.
That's great.
Yeah.
Yeah. So they are shedding 1,000 jobs. I think almost entirely in Fortnite land.
Because Fortnite isn't making enough money.
Yeah, exactly.
Somehow.
That's what Tim Sweeney is claiming, that Fortnite engagement, as he calls it, has had a significant downturn since 2025.
If only Highguard and the rest of them waited like one more year, they might have had a bunch of players.
Yeah, the people that are leaving Fortnite.
It's like, finally, Fortnite is dying. The market's about to open up, but you will release slightly too early.
It's hard to know what he means by engagement. Like, presumably he means, like
money. He means
yeah.
people spending money.
Exactly. So that doesn't necessarily mean that there are fewer players in the game.
Yeah.
Especially as like Fortnite is trying to adopt the Roblox model now, right, where people can pay for like
kind of
user-generated content. And obviously, Epic get a cut of that whenever that happens. Yeah. So it's I don't know. I find the idea that of Fortnite in decline just kind of fascinating, right? I don't know if it's like the biggest game on the planet, but it's certainly up there, right? In terms of
what's taking its
the
place,
bank
then?
it was doing. Yeah, where are people going? Like, or are they just not spending because of the global climate? Like, yeah, we don't
that
really
also
know.
makes sense.
Yeah, don't exactly know. Or Tim Sweeney hasn't exactly told us exactly why they think this is going on. But I find it interesting. Is Fortnite not the forever game we thought it is? Like, there's a little bit of hope in me that's like, is the live service bubble bursting? Have we got to that point?
Well,
like,
I mean, that bubble is the larger version of that bubble popped ages ago, but you've got the small hard bubble that like has Fortnite in it that can last much longer.
Well, we got to the point like MMOs did, right, where oversaturation became the biggest problem.
That's the bubble that burst, but there's always going to be the ancient one that lasts.
Sure.
They're still making expansions for World of Warcraft.
Yeah, exactly. Right. Yeah, the good ones, the ones that actually got big, that everyone tried to get a piece of, remain big, right? That's just how this normally works. And
I expect that's going to continue to be the case for Fortnite. It just might not make as much money.
Sure. Have they all gone to Overwatch? Like, Overwatch 2 is supposedly...
I mean, maybe temporarily.
2, yeah.
Maybe it'll suck up some bandwidth for a while. But...
Yeah, like games like Arc Raiders and Marathon, presumably, and stuff like that. There's I heard some like somewhat depressing takes on this sort of story recently, where it's like about the demographic of game players these days, and half the reason why Sony, some of the reason why Sony might be pulling out of doing or have tried to go so live service in recent years, is that the number of players. Not necessarily buying, but the number of players playing single-player games, and in particular prestige single-player games, is in fairly rapid decline, supposuppositely. And
is it? What?
And the age
range
of the players that tend to play those games has been increasing. So
fair.
the statisticians then look at that and go like, but so the up and coming young player base aren't into these games anymore. So I guess we shouldn't make those.
Yeah, but hasn't every video game company been saying that for about 5 to 10 years at this point?
It's been a while, right?
Ever since EA stopped making single player stories,
that
basically.
whole thing, right? Yeah, I remember that. It's like we're not going to make single player games anymore. It's like, yeah, I don't know. I think. That is worrying, right? Like, were they actually right all along?
Well, they weren't right all along. They were temporally displaced, right?
Yeah, they were too.
They were right 5 to 10 years too soon.
They did a Microsoft, like how Microsoft have usually been with tech over the decades, right? It's like they were too early for anyone to. Anyway, I really, obviously, I hope that that's not the case because I'm in that aging demographic, I guess, where I want to play those sorts of games.
I'm guessing GTA 6 is going to smash all the records.
Yeah, again, to quote Digital Foundry, that was pretty much what they were talking about on there. Oh no, was it? It might have been Giant Bomb, actually, something like that. I heard something that was that they were talking about something similar to this, and they were going like, yeah, the one that cuts through is GTA. Like everyone is talking about GTA.
But GTA is just the World of Warcraft of single-player games.
I guess.
It's the one that succeeded and just sticks around forever.
It's the universal single-player game, I guess. Apart from GTA Online.
Sure. But that's just the mode.
Yeah. Anyway, I'm just going to read this quote from Tim Sweeney because it's a blinder. Of what he has posted since the mass firing. Oh boy. Strap yourselves in. He says, in the coming days, employers will see a stream of resumes of once-in-a-lifetime quality folks. An important thing to understand is that Epic never lowered our hiring standards as we grew, and the layoff here wasn't a performance-based right-sizing as companies call it nowadays. It's a sound bet that anyone with Epic Games on their resume is going to be in the top few % of their discipline. And it's like... oh man. I kind of get what he's trying to say. It's like, hey, our staff were great, weren't they? Yeah, we fired them all anyway.
We fired them all. Yeah.
It's like, how is it not right-sizing? Like, in that classic term, if you're having to fire 1,000 really good developers,
yes, either you're lying about it being right sizing, or you're lying about them being really good.
One of those things can't be right. Yeah, it's man, I want to take one step back from saying he's a moron, but also what a fuckwit.
Is that one step back?
Yeah, it's one step back. I'm not saying he's dumb. I'm saying
he's a fuckwit. Is that not dumb?
Yeah, no.
Is that not another synonym for being dumb?
I guess it could be. Yeah.
It's one step sideways.
Yeah. Out of touch.
Well, I mean, that's just a given.
Yeah.
That's just a given for any CEO ever.
Yeah. Knob jockeys. Right. What else we got? Xbox Partner Showcase. We actually got some games. This was their like low key show that they do where they talk about like other their partners that are releasing games on Xbox. Slightly worrying trend in this particular showcase was that a lot of the games here were games that are already well established and are out and are only now finally getting an Xbox release after other exclusivity deals run out and stuff like that. So it's like, is this all you've got to talk about? Like Hades 2 coming to Xbox? Really? Okay. Like, I guess that's also true of PlayStation. I should point that out. Hades 2 had Switch exclusivity and PC for some reason. Anyway.
Did it?
Yeah. Yeah, you could get it on PC and Switch, and it's only just coming to Xbox and PlayStation now.
Weird.
Yeah.
I didn't know that. Okay.
Anyway, but yeah, it's like, okay, I'm sure that's some sort of deal, but also, yeah. There was a few of those in this thing. Anyway, things to pick up on. We've heard about the game based on the TV show The Expanse before, but we got to see a trailer for it, a bit more of a trailer for it here. The Expanse Osiris Reborn, as it's called. This thing looks quite Mass Effect-y. Not necessarily in a bad way. I don't think it's a great trailer, but it's looking Mass Effect-y. And there is a bunch of stuff to really back that up as well. There's been developer interviews and stuff going on where they were saying we all grew up with Mass Effect. We're hugely inspired by it, and it's like, so they're trying to make a Mass Effect game but tie it into The Expanse. I don't know, maybe one to watch as a result.
Sure.
It doesn't look like EA's going to make a good one anytime soon. So,
I mean, that's probably smart. Given even BioWare, worked with the, first they worked with Dungeons and Dragons stuff, and then they worked with the Star Wars license before they were like, I'm going to create our own universe in Mass Effect. So for a newcomers, it's use an established, universe that has lore and stuff that people like. Good idea.
Is The Expanse liked? Is that a good show?
I've never seen it. I think it is liked. It's like, isn't it? Its gimmick is it's like harder sci-fi than normal, right? So I guess
it takes time to go places.
Yeah, it's like the modern Babylon 5, but it's even I think ships have to they have to use their engines, and then if they want to stop, they have to slow down. They have to turn around and use their engines for equal amount of time and stuff like that.
Okay, so a little more of a realistic bent. This is verisimilitude. A little more.
Yeah, but there's no. I think that word works for real world, but that real world hasn't come yet.
Yeah, okay.
I guess.
Gotcha.
But yeah, it's harder sci-fi.
Yeah. There's something very Husk-like in their key art and in the trailer as well. A little bit like the Mass Effect Husks. Something very similar looking. So yeah, wearing their inspiration on their sleeve, I think there.
I mean, Mass Effect's very derivative in a good way, almost. Yeah. They all are. So it's all good. What's
the the name escapes me now. You're gonna slap me for thinking of this. But what's the what was the game that Haunted Chocolatier guy got famous for? The farming game.
What's Stardew?
Stardew, thank you.
How did you forget that?
It just I don't know. It just completely left my brain. Anyway, there was something here called Grave Seasons that on the surface looked like it would be a lot like Stardew Valley, except, hey, what if Stardew Valley also had horror in it? So there you go. That's the mashup I guess no one asked for.
Well, that's already in the Stardew Valley horror mod, obviously. And there was that game that was, I guess, not exactly like that, but like Graveyard Keeper was a game that came out not long after Stardew and had some similar elements, less about farming, obviously.
Sure.
It's more about graveyards.
Right, yeah. Keep those flowers on those graves.
And also was maybe not really horror exactly. It was more straight.
Dark humour.
Yes, straight in the graveyard aspect.
Sinister. Serious Sam is getting another game.
Is it made by any of the same people at this point?
I don't know. Who knows? It's called Serious Sam Shatterverse, which to me sounds like it's a little scatological. But it's
Shatterverse is something else, though, isn't it? Like, I'm sure I've heard that word before. Don't know where though.
No, I don't know.
Shatterverse. I just realised what you meant by scatological. Probably if you were American, you wouldn't get that. Yeah.
Into the realm of poops.
I feel absolutely shattered.
It's I mean, I didn't quite get a feel for exactly what the game was, but I get the feeling it's probably going to be like a co-op, maybe extraction shooter like experience in the Serious Sam world.
So it's not going to be a Serious Sam game, basically.
But with a bunch of it looks like it's very much like the same enemies, the same type of combat. But there's now a bunch of Sams that from different universes, right? The Spider-Verse-y thing, right? Like they're all. I think one of them's like a shark guy, so like a little bit Justice League, I suppose. Could be fun. Especially if they do like Serious Sam jokes.
This is an extraction shooter, so it's already failed.
Yeah, I mean, I'm guessing there. I haven't looked that up. I'm just judging from the trailer. Could just be a co-op experience. Who knows? someone knows. Stranger Than Heaven, that new RGG game got a trailer, confirming that the game is set across 5 different time periods in 5 different cities. Yakuza in the past.
Well, they already did that, though.
Yeah, but that was I guess sure.
Yakuza in the slightly less past.
Or more
fast.
Less past. I think you're right. This game looks real cool. Like it looks very muddy. That sort of like
the Shadowverse.
Shadowverse, yeah. That sort of Saint Denis look from Red Dead Redemption 2, the sort of like muddy ground thing. It kind of looks a little bit like that.
Valentine, yeah,
a little bit.
Cool.
Yeah, and it's a really interesting trailer because it seems to like focus more on the sort of combat stuff, but also, but the entire soundtrack is just a drum solo, which I thought was rad. Like, what a choice!
Oh, that's cool.
Excited for this. I'll get to it in many years' time when I catch up on the Yakuza games, but yeah, I'm really excited to see what this is. The sort of like shout out to what looks like an interesting concept for, I don't know, I'm going to call them the soppy adventure game genre. Forever Ago looks quite sweet. I think Kyle Bosman called it a Disney Pixar's Up-like. And that
Up-like, okay.
And that it seems to be setting a story about you reminiscing about you meeting your wife in the past, but now you're a much older person, clearly on your own as well. It looks sweet. Let's put it that way. It looks like a nice a sweet tale. Nice that it showed up in one of these showcases. Like it seems it was a nice change of pace, right, from guns and explosions. Nice to see. There's a new Bluey game coming called Bluey's Happy Snaps.
Very good.
Coming out this year. Like, okay, that first Bluey game, Bluey the video game, it's kind of a nothing. But
all the children's games like that.
I don't know, that last I don't know if that other Bluey game came out. I think it has, like the one that was based on like the Bluey episode where they're like drawing adventurers and stuff on paper, like the sort of pencil drawn one. It's like that looked like it would have a little more meat on its bones than Bluey the video game did. I don't really know what this is in terms of like actual gameplay. I assume it's a photography game of some description. Otherwise, why would you call it Happy Snaps? But it looks better. It looks more authentically Bluey than than the previous game did.
It's not going to blow your mind.
Whoa. I'm going to call the next game something that looks like a maybe a middle ground between Hollow Knight and Cuphead, if such a thing could exist. I can't get exactly a feel for how this plays out. It's called The Eternal Life of Goldman, and it looks like not I should point out, not House of the Dead Goldman.
Unfortunately, that would be much more interesting.
Much weirder game. Yeah, but like the trailer just goes on about making fun of this old guy who's actually turns out to be like a combat master with his cane, I guess it looks like it's a boss rush game potentially of some kind. So maybe more on the Cuphead side than anything else, but with nice animation and a weirdly almost out of place gory stance on some of the death animations. It's a really strange, intriguing looking thing. I'd go check out that trailer. Looks like fun though. Eternal Life of Goldman. And the show ended on the reveal of a brand new IP, called Artificial Detective, due out next year. Looks like it might be a sort of third-person action game of some description, but the whole plot is, hey, it seems like you might be in a world where all the humans disappeared for some reason, and you're the self-proclaimed only detective in the world trying to figure it out. Except, plot twist, there is a human, a small child that's with you, of course, to try and protect.
Of course.
I don't know. Yeah, looks all right. I think it's quite an early trailer. As I said, it's not out until next year. Be nice to see a little more about this. That's what we got from Xbox at the moment. I wouldn't say, like as you said, nothing blueyed my mind, but
Okay.
But and to that extent, it's like, okay, that's probably quite a disappointing showing. Is this all Xbox could muster? Right? Like, there's no. Sure. Where's your big thing? But I'm not sure. I'm not sure these shows. I'm not sure these little partner shows ever really have a big thing. Particularly,
it's just the same as Nintendo.
Kind of,
shows you don't care about.
Yeah,
because it's all the other companies making their things.
Yeah, to an extent. Yeah, a little bit of that. And finally, Nintendo have got. I'm going to just call it, they seem to be quite spoilery about what's going on in that new Super Mario film, like revealing cameos and stuff. And it's like, why would you do that? Why would you do that? But one of them may be relevant. So they kind of revealed that Star Fox is for some reason in the Super Mario Galaxy movie. To what extent, we don't really know, assumingly very little. But hey, he's there. Which then leads into a known leaker who has his own podcast and stuff like that. I don't know how he gets away with it, like if he is a true leaker. I don't really know his background. Anyway, he's called Nate the Hate. And he seems to think, and the internet is latching onto this, that there may be a Star Fox game coming from Nintendo summer this year.
What?
Yeah.
Who put that on there freaking unannounced?
No one yet.
No one.
Quick, everyone go bid.
I mean, it's pretty interesting, like, that it's almost exactly 10 years since Star Fox Zero came out. I don't think that really affects anything. It's just a weird coincidence.
Was Star Fox Zero on an anniversary? Or do they not do anniversaries for Star Fox for obvious reasons?
No, I don't know. Yeah, I don't know that it is. But possibly more exciting is the rumor that there will be an Ocarina of Time remake also this year.
Is that more exciting? I don't know. Weird.
Well, it depends what they mean by remake. Yeah, like it's unclear whether they mean like it's just another remaster like the 3DS one, right? Which I'm not knocking. That 3DS one is supposed to be good, right? But or if it's like a reimagining type deal, right?
How would that even work? That's much weirder than there being a Star Fox game. Because, like, obviously Zelda has been revolutionized and changed so much, like, particularly by the Breath of the Wild formula, that wouldn't it be really weird to go back to a more traditional Zelda?
Yeah, I wonder.
Weird. I don't know. That's very strange.
I mean, if they could manage to do what they already kind of did, that is essentially the middle ground of the Link Between Worlds, where you have the traditional dungeons, but you can do them in any order.
Right.
Like, if you could manage to somehow manipulate the Ocarina of Time world to do that much freedom, instead of it being just straight linear again.
The thing is, I don't know that you could and still call it Ocarina of Time, right? I think
it'd be the same world and the same dungeons, you'd just be able to get to them differently.
Maybe. I don't know.
That would be so strange on, like, given the scale of, like, the Breath of the Wild world and the Tears of the Kingdom world even more. If you to go back to that would be so weird.
But then it's not like they've left traditional. Maybe this is them. Like, it's not like they've left old school Zelda alone, right? Because they've done those Link's Awakening and the Zelda, whatever that game was called, right? The 2D ones. They are still revisiting that. It's like maybe now they feel like now is the time that the middle tier can exist and we can revisit.
Maybe it's non
Breath of the Wild Zelda.
I can't really picture it. I guess we'll have to see.
Or just
I don't really understand it.
Just make it like straight Ocarina of Time, but use this as the opportunity to actually make the combat more interesting. Like, give Link, like, actual moves and make the combat an actual process. Like, Like how we always complain about Breath of the Wild, where it's just like you just backflip and then you win. It's just like let's have some. But then you've got Twilight Princess. Obviously has the you do learn the moves. You have the specific moves that deal with specific situations, and it's like a combo counter system kind of. Like you could lead into that and like then only change that, but have the rest of the Ocarina of Time world and game function basically the same. You'd probably have to redo the bosses as well, I suppose, not just the regular combat, but
potentially, yeah.
That would be an interesting thing to do with a remake of a Zelda game, where it's like you're altering a very specific mechanic, but like you could still work that within the same world.
Is there a more legitimate strategy to Shadow Link?
Rather than the knee stabbing.
Stab with the knees.
Yes, that would make that much more interesting if they could make that boss actually a combination of you learning all the different skills and everything. Make it so you actually do have to fight it properly. But yeah, I don't know what they're going to do. They're probably just going to... well, I don't know. I was about to say they're probably just going to re-release the 3DS one, but maybe that would still need quite a lot of work to make it a Switch 2 game.
Oh yeah. And maybe that would be acceptable, right? Like, but problem is like, do you reckon Nintendo looked at the fan projects of people trying to make Ocarina in like Unreal Engine?
Yeah, but
we're like, yeah, we can have a bit of that.
Yeah, but those are just like model replacements. It's like that's not really
and tech replacements. They're not. Yeah, I know what you mean. They're aiming to be the same game, right? Like,
yes, there's not really actual work being done there, really. I mean, there's a lot of work, but it's not like you're doing much complicated.
Careful now.
I mean, you can make any game in Unreal Engine at a certain point, because they're all made in Unreal Engine now.
All right, well, we'll see how that pans out. I want to see about Fox McCloud in the Mario movie. That comes out like next month.
I feel so conflicted about this news about Star Fox, because like, I want to be hype, but I want this to be real.
Surely if there was...
the chance of it being real seems so small.
Yes. Surely if there was going to be a Star Fox game in summer, they would have had to have done a Nintendo Direct in January.
Yeah, it does seem like... wouldn't be the first time
Why would you put Fox McCloud in the massive smash hit kids movie if he didn't have a game?
It's like, why did you put Donkey Kong in the last one? I guess that was for his game, but that was only kind of retrospectively true.
Yeah, but also Donkey Kong was a relatively large part of that film. Like,
kind of, but that was more
the whole fight sequence.
Donkey Kong was more about karts, so it's like it was actually a Mario Kart reference, really.
Well, he's in Mario Kart. Well, yes, obviously with the new design from the film.
I don't think that was necessarily an intentional. I think you could have put a lot of different characters in Donkey Kong's role in the first Mario movie, really.
But then they've got such a job in this next Mario film of just including more Mario characters. It's like, almost, why did they go out of their way to put a non-Mario character in there? I mean,
do they have that many more Mario characters to put in, though? Really?
Enough.
Like the characters?
Wario, Waluigi.
Sure, but... well, they'd have to be antagonists, presumably.
Well, there's no sign of them being in this. It's like everyone seems to think that's going to be like the stinger, that Wario turns up. So,
I mean, that could... But you'd have to recontextualize Wario in this universe, because Mario is, Brooklyn Mario again. Yeah, where does Wario come from in this version?
That's a really good question. Where does he? Florida. He's Orlando Mario.
All right.
Anyway, yeah. I mean, Zach had a theory that it might be a Star Fox Zero remake, if it's a thing.
But that would kind of suck,
re-release. Yeah,
Star Fox 1.
Yeah. Well, now that would be interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I kind of see the potential for it being like a make good on Star Fox Zero, maybe. Like, because what would they do? Like, they would take the awkward view thing out of the game somehow, right? Because that's Star Fox Zero's biggest problem.
I think you could just do that as like almost a HUD element Or do it as a, like, diegetic kind of element to be like, you turn on Star Fox, his little visor thing, and it covers half the screen with that other screen.
No, I think if they were going to do it, they would just redesign the game, so that's not a necessity. Because it wasn't a necessity.
Sure. Like, I mean, they can still keep the motion control stuff, right?
If they wanted, yeah. I'm not even sure they would need that. Like, the game could be redesigned, I think, not too difficult. It wouldn't be too difficult to redesign that game to work without the Wii U features, and probably be better for it.
But Nintendo don't like doing that. They don't like admitting they're wrong.
I guess not. I don't know. Presumably they had to de-waggle Twilight Princess when they made the Wii U re-release of it, right? Which still hasn't come to Switch, if I'm...
Well, sure, yes.
Yeah.
Did they have to de-waggle that, though? I don't know. It could have still had the motion controls, because it had a de-waggled version anyway, because it had the GameCube version.
Yeah, but then the Switch version would have been... Yeah, I guess the Switch version... the Wii U version probably would have been, like, optionally de-waggled, right? Like, so you could play the GameCube version, but with the widescreen graphics of the Wii version. And... No. Yeah, I don't know. They should... Twilight Princess should come out on Switch. I'll probably just put it in the GameCube.
Yeah, just release it on the emulator.
Yeah. Anyway, that's news.
Right, it's time for what you've been playing. Just about.
For as much time as we've got to talk about.
Jeez, holy shit, I didn't realise we've been running that long. Right, okay.
Yeah, you got to get it done in 10 minutes tops each.
Not happening.
Zach, what have you been playing?
Well, fortunately, I actually don't have that much to talk about, even though I say that every time, and even though I literally had to make notes as well to actually remember.
But Timberborn 1.0 came out.
Yes, Timberborn, I did actually end up playing that some, even though everything else was updating, as I said before. So I did spend some time in Timberborn, although I might have already fallen off of that. The trouble was, I went in there, it's 1.0, so it's like, now it's finished, and that means you can add achievements. And I was like, okay, so let's do some... Obviously, I've already beaten that game several times, so it's like, okay, now achievement hunting, right? That's the obvious thing to do. But, like, I think it suffers from a problem that is classic in games of, like, the achievements are maybe too hard... Well, not really exactly hardcore. They're too, like, big.
Right.
And in ways that, like... The like, progression of Timberborn... this is a problem I have kind of with Captain in the industry as well, which I'm also going to talk about in a minute, but like, I seem to find a way to play these games where it seems like natural, where you settle into a certain thing. Like Timberborn, you have a certain amount of population to work with and a certain amount of job slots to fill. And if you want to increase your population, obviously you're going to need like more food and shit, so you're going to need to build more farms to keep up. And that sort of balance has a sort of natural, like, zone that it sits in, where I typically get to, like, 75 to 90 beavers, and then at that point you get, like, robots, so that takes up, like, another 50 to 100 of your population cap at that point. But the robots are sort of more like replacement workers, mainly because the robots don't get injured, so you can put the robots in all the dangerous jobs, like the factory jobs, basically. So, like, that feels like the right number of beavers, basically. Like, because you sort of reach the point where, like, the sort of 75 to 100 number is the point where sort of one of every service building is enough, like one bakery and then, like, one mill or whatever to make the flour. It's like that number is sort of where that evens out. So that's like the logical place. And that leads to the settling problem that I talked about in Captain Industry before, where it's like, then if you wanted to expand any further than that, you'd have to build one of everything.
Right. Because
you go over that limit. So there's like, you're not just adding one more building, you're building another of every building.
Yeah. Almost like a sub-town.
Yeah. Which this game, I think, is designed to do, because there's like this, you can build this district building that separates, well, two districts. So they have their own stockpiles and their own resource limits and whatever, and you can transfer between them, but then the idea is sort of that you're building a separate town at that point. So this game is designed to do that, but then that's where, like, I get into the problem with the achievements, where it's like, I finished the game with, like, 75 to 100 beavers, and the first achievement for population is 100, and then there's one for 200, and then there's one for 500. Oh. And it's like, I've never had that many beavers ever, not even if you include the robots, which don't even count for the achievement.
Wow.
So I'm just like, that's the kind of problem with these achievements where they're just big to be big. Right, it's like, I would never actually do that just from playing the game naturally, or at least I wouldn't, because that's the way I've found to play these games that feels natural. Maybe other people do it differently.
Yeah, maybe there is just an approach where the attrition of high population works.
Yeah. And that's like, I feel the same way, like I talked about it before in Captain of Industry, where there is that, like, the settling point where it's like, you have enough farms to supply enough population, and it evens out where you don't have any spare population. So if you ever want to build new stuff, you have to build more of everything simultaneously, and it becomes a big hassle.
That was kind of always, that's a problem with a lot of these games.
Yes.
Right? Like, it's this classic SimCity problem. Right?
Yes.
It's like, we got big. Oh shit, we're going to need schools, we're going to need fire stations, we're going to need...
I mean, in SimCity's case...
Not really a problem, I guess.
Yeah, in SimCity's case, the only problem there is, like, money, because at a certain point, if you have enough money, you can just build everything all at once.
Yeah.
Like, in pause, even. You should build an entire new district of the city in one go, and then just press play and watch all the buildings appear.
Which is kind of fun.
Yes. But yeah, I don't know about those kind of big achievements always feel weird in these kind of games where it's like, it feels like you're being forced to play it in an unnatural way, but I mean, not as intentionally as some of the other achievements where it is like, this is completely an unnatural thing to do. And then there's certain achievements where it's like, I don't even know how you would, well, I can see a theoretical way of how you would do them, but it's definitely never going to come up in a normal gameplay situation. Like, there's an achievement for having a beaver die while it's injured, infected, hungry, and thirsty. So they have, like, all four of the bad things are going to happen. And it's like, hungry and thirst, that's easy enough. You just, like, don't shut them off somewhere so they can't access food and water, and it's like, that takes care of itself. And that would probably also be how they die conveniently. But then, like, the injury and infection, those are kind of mutually exclusive almost, because in order to get injured, you have to be working in a dangerous job. But if you get infected, you don't work any longer. So
can they get infected from their injury?
No, because infection is when you walk into the bad water, basically. So it's basically a pathfinding thing. You have to have them path through bad water and then they get infected by it.
Right, okay, so they've got to be infected, then go work.
No, the other way around, because as soon as you're infected, they refuse to work after they're infected.
Right.
So you have to get them injured.
And on their way back home.
On their way to, like, a medical bed, I guess you could lure them with. Build a medical bed on a path that pathfinds them through bad water so they get infected. Then, like, destroy the path so they get stuck there and then they'll eventually die. But hopefully they die from hunger and thirst before the injury heals, because the injury just heals naturally even if they're not in a medical bed. Oh, it's just like...
Also, why would you do any of this?
No, exactly. It's a completely unnatural achievement that couldn't even happen naturally anyway.
Like, I get the desire to do fun stuff with achievements.
Yeah.
Like, I get that. Perhaps stuff that isn't, like, core to the game, but
yeah,
that one sounds a bit too, like, you know, they're usually in at least some sort of positive benefit to your game, right?
Sure.
Do this stupid thing. You might not gain from it, but hey, it's not the end of the world. It's like, this actually seems like work to do a really bad thing. It's like, I was like, why? I guess when you've had enough of everything else the game has to offer, just dick around with the population and see if it's possible.
Well, I mean, I'm sure. I mean, you can theoretically do this setup to just kill one beaver. Just like pick on one specific guy.
It seems like a lot.
You're not sacrificing a whole town. You can continue on that game after you've done this thing.
Like a lot of work.
Yes, it does seem like a lot of work to pull off this one specific setup, and it seems like it could probably easily fail to happen correctly. I mean, there are some other sort of similar achievements that are kind of cooler, like the one for having a robot be built after all the beavers are dead, because the robots can staff the robot factory. So you can have every actual living beaver die and just continue playing as the robots.
Interesting.
which is sort of cool. But again, that just means you have to intentionally kill all the actual beavers.
You have to incite some sort of failure state, but that's not really a failure state. But you know what I mean? You're not gunning for it.
Well, except you kind of have to gun for it, because the only way you'd be able to do that is if you deliberately didn't get enough food and water, essentially.
No, that's what I mean. But like, you wouldn't normally be gunning for it. You'd have to go for this scenario.
Yes.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's Timberborn. I played like half of that and half of Captain of Industry. Not really much else to say about Captain of Industry. I just sort of progressed that save file some more. And I got the fancy new stacker tower that lets you basically, it's one of those like the thing that just drops loose material into a pile. And then it has like a rail so it can move forwards and then like extend the pile linearly.
Spread it.
Well,
spread it like butter.
It has options so you can actually make it either build an actual like pile or like a flat landscape. So you can just have it basically build a perfectly flat plane out in front of it, which is what I'm using it for. Because it basically much simplifies the process of dumping to make new land. Because instead of having to have trucks constantly drive to each individual square as they're gradually building the land out, you just put it all into a storage container that goes into this tower and it automatically extends itself outwards as it goes to build the terrain, which is nice. And way better than the original stacker tower, which could only build like a triangular pile, and that was it, because it didn't have a rail, so it couldn't move.
If I had a building company, could I specialise in piles?
Piles of piles.
I
mean, there are probably piles of piles, like, you know, the piles that you put in the ground, right? For buildings and whatnot. A pile of piles.
But can you use a pile of piles, or do you have to just use one pile? Like,
you develop a new pile driving machine that drives an entire stack of them all at once.
Yeah. Does it have to be one piece when you're pile driving? Like, if it was a pile of piles, they'd have to be separate pieces, right? Then you put one pile in and then put another pile on top.
Probably depends what kind of pile.
For it to be a pile of piles.
Pile of swine.
Yep.
Pile of swine.
And then
I always get the stacker tower when I order at KFC.
Yeah. That is not nearly linear enough. The other thing that I played somewhat briefly, and also not the actual relevant part, I guess, but look, there was a new DLC for Opus Magnum after 10 years or whatever. After Zachtronics said they weren't going to make any new games. But I mean, this doesn't count as a new game. I guess it's just a DLC. But yeah, there's a new DLC for that. So I was like, holy shit. Get in there.
Get in there.
But I didn't actually
make a video for it. I mean, that
is the thing. I didn't actually play the DLC, partially because I was thinking I should probably make a video of this because it's like one of the most popular videos in our YouTube channel somehow.
Yeah.
But also, when I opened the game, I was like, I never actually finished what you would call the free DLC, the post-launch update pack that he did. And I'd also never played any of the journal, which is like the community submitted puzzles that were curated.
Oh, okay. Right.
So I never played any of them either. So I was just like, oh well, I guess I can at least finish up the original content, if not the journal, but the original real content before I move into the DLC. So I did that. Which you would think would be a struggle to come back into basically the hardest puzzles, but it was fine.
Oh, okay.
Once I got back into it, it was like, oh yeah, I know how this works. Because the expanded content pack that was added after launch basically makes it so that your play area is super restricted. Because you may remember from the original that the play area is infinite and you can build whatever the fuck you want. And you put as many arms down and whatever as you want on that big green plane.
Right, yeah.
But then in the free expansion thing, it has little boxes essentially, and then teleporters that move the atoms between the little individual parts. So you have to build in these incredibly constrained spaces. And also sometimes the teleporters make it even worse because it's this teleporter can only send a single atom through at a time, but you've got your input is a big lump of atoms, so you have to disassemble it, feed it all through the teleporter, and then reassemble it on the other side or whatever.
Yeah.
Which is actually kind of, as is the case with Opus Magnum and Space Chem and Infinifactory, they all basically reuse these same ideas. Like the teleporters is also in Infinifactory and in Space Chem.
I was about to say this does feel reminiscent of Infinifactory, right? Because some of Infinifactory's puzzles were based on how to deal with the space you could build.
Yes. I mean, they all are basically like that.
Right.
Just more. In Space Game, it was these one screen's worth of space that you had. And then in Opus Magnum, it's these little boxes of hexagon grid. And in Infinifactory is like physical space.
Yeah.
But yeah, I may make a video of that, possibly.
Cool.
Or we could take a week off from Skies Arcade and do a video, and you guys can be very bored.
I mean, you
guys can talk amongst yourselves, and I'll just make a puzzle.
I mean, you can try and explain it to us as you go.
I think you're diverging from the winning formula of your
Yeah, that is the trouble.
If you do that.
Clearly, it's the fact that I was the only person in that video that made it really popular.
It's like an ASMR thing.
Dan, are we the problem?
I think when it comes to explaining Zack-type games, especially ones with Zack's name in the name of the developer.
Zack talks about Zacktronic games.
Yeah. Then I think, yes, maybe.
Yes, I will probably make a video of that, probably. And then the only other thing to very briefly mention, because for some reason Rocket League won't stop updating. They've done yet another update where it's like, here's some new features that should probably have always been there. Like, now the big boosts, the full boosts, have like a visual indicator that they're recharging. So like as they get closer to recharging, the pad glows more basically.
Oh, interesting.
So and it plays a little sound as well. So you can tell when the boost is about to respawn.
Well, that's a good idea.
Well, it's like, ideally that means you get less people parked on boost pads waiting for the respawn if they're bad players, which they should never be doing that anyway. But the trouble is that it like actually still incentivizes that more, except for shorter periods. Because it's like, now you can hear and see when it's about to spawn, so you still do park on it, but just for less time.
Yeah, so actually people go, oh, that's about to happen, rather than looking at it and going, it's not there.
Yeah.
Yeah, I see what you mean.
It's slightly weird. And then the other thing they introduced, which is much less relevant to me because I've never learned actual skills in Rocket League, I just have my weird skills, but like they introduced the flip reset indicator, which is a very specific mechanic that they sort of legitimized over time.
Yeah.
Where basically when you jump, you have your double jump, and then you're flying with the rockets. But if all four of your wheels touch the ball in midair, it resets your double jump.
Because for some reason it thinks you're on the floor. Like
basically, yeah. So they basically, that's the trick with the really fancy air dribbling stuff to completely like outmaneuver people, is to get a flip reset so you can do essentially another like mid-air roll to redirect the ball in mid-air dribble. So they put in an indicator to show when you've actually successfully flip reset. It just plays a little effect under your wheels to show that it's actually happened.
Neat.
Although I get it a lot from, I didn't even know this was possible, but I get it a lot from like colliding with other cars. Apparently if all four of your wheels hit another car's roof, it also counts.
Well, that sort of makes sense, right? Because it does kind of imply that this may have been, at least at some point, an unintentional mechanic.
It kind of was, yes. But yes. Man. That's the continuing saga of Rocket League updating many, many years after release with things that probably should have always, well, maybe not the flip reset, but the boost countdown at least.
Yeah.
Possibly should always have been there.
Yeah, I see your point. Man. I kind of wish I still kind of wish that things like air dribbling and stuff like that kind of weren't a thing in that game. Like, that game seems more fun when you're just booting the ball about. Like,
I mean, that's my tactic still.
Yeah.
That's why I never bothered to learn those actual skills, because it turns out, as I've often said about Rocket League, it turns out if you just fucking shoot the ball at the goal, you score quite a lot. At least at a certain level.
Sure.
The number of times that I still see people at my level taking, like, you know, taking forever to get a ball under control so they can dribble it or whatever, when there's a like completely open goal. Yeah, the entire enemy team is behind you.
Just punt it. Yeah.
Like, just shoot the ball into the open net.
That was my strategy. Yeah, just don't fuck around. Just punt it.
Yeah. But they learnt the skills, so they have to use the skills. Yeah. Whereas I didn't learn the skills, so I only just shoot.
No, I never learnt it either. I couldn't. I tried, but Yeah, it never gripped. Even just like not even air dribbling, just ground dribbling. I could never get I could never get it to behave.
I never bothered.
Yeah.
Also, I mean, maybe not coincidentally, I also never have used a vehicle that has a hitbox that's good for dribbling.
Right.
The van was obviously terrible, and the F1 car that I use now is too flat. So,
all right, your flat box, right?
I have the flat hitbox, and I had the square hitbox. I never had the appropriately sloped hitbox.
The octane.
Yes, the octane hitbox. So that's all I did. That's my section. Reasonably quick.
I'm still pretty. I'm pretty glad I got out of the Rocket League cycle. It's like, don't get me wrong, I think it's a great game, but it's like that thing had its hooks in me too deep.
I mean, that's only because you got weirdly obsessed with the Rocket Pass situation.
Yeah, I know, that was the problem. That's what they want me to do. Like, yeah, I didn't have to do that. You're right, and I guess I could play it whenever I want.
Yeah,
but like, it's still like that was, yeah, the pass gave me problems.
I mean, I legitimately, I always succeed the pass because I still play Rocket League way too much, but like, I don't think I've ever really looked at anything in the past for like the past 3 seasons or whatever. It's like, I don't care.
I'm just playing the game.
I haven't changed my vehicle in like that amount of time at least.
Right, yeah. Yeah. There'd usually be something in the Rocket Pass where I'd sit there and go like, oh yeah, I want that.
I mean, I think they've also just been worse in general in recent years. The last 2 or 3 especially have been kind of generic.
Well, going back to that Fortnite story, because I forgot to mention it, it's like, have you ever tried out rocket racing?
No, because it's in Fortnite.
It's in Fortnite, yeah. Like, there's a bit of me that, like, that's always been like, oh yeah, I should go try it. And whenever it's mentioned, it's like, yeah, I should go try that. I know it's not like super well liked,
sure,
but there's a bit of me that's just like, yeah, I should probably go check that out. Anyway, that thing's going to end like because of all these layoffs, which suggests that maybe a lot of the layoffs have come from or some of them at least have come from the Psyonix side of the business that they acquired.
I mean, it definitely implies that like how all the Rocket Pass stuff in Rocket League is like, you can use this in Fortnite. Maybe not any longer.
Right? Yeah, maybe not. Yeah.
Because they won't be anywhere to use it. Although I think the Rocket League cars and stuff still spawn in regular Fortnite world as like drivable vehicles.
Oh, do they?
So I think you can still get them that way.
Yeah.
Anyway, Rob, what did you play?
Boy.
Rapidly get through it.
Yeah, this is going to be a challenge because
rapidly get through it as much as you're not going to continue to play.
Yeah.
That you can talk about in the future.
Because I'm in that awkward situation where this is one of those weeks where I finished games and thus I'm bouncing between a bunch while I'm waiting for something to settle. So I've actually got quite a list, but as I say, I'll try and rattle through it. I finished Beyond Metroid Prime 4 Prime Beyond.
Beyond Prime.
Beyond, yeah. I don't know why I started with the subtitle there. Yeah, I finished that. I've got a little bit of beef with it. Like, I don't know, that ending is kind of naff.
Yep.
Like, it just sort of ends. Like, there's no, like, I feel like the world building in Metroid Prime 4 doesn't work.
Well, it's because it's just like a completely separate universe, essentially. You go for a teleporter and then it's like nothing that happens on this planet matters.
Yeah, I mean, mild spoilers, I guess, but like, Silex just doesn't, like, what? There's no story to him or anything. He's just fucking there, like being an asshole, and then like, and just like for some reason is after you. And it's like, I can't remember at this point if that is actually a callback to Metroid Prime 3 in some
Apparently
way.
not. Apparently,
like, yeah, that's what I thought.
Apparently, his only appearance is like in a post-credit scene of Metroid Prime 3, probably dependent on completion percent.
Right.
You see his ship following Samus's ship.
And is that it?
And so that might be it. But apparently he's also in Hunters, I guess.
Oh.
So maybe if you played the spin-off game, you might know more about him.
Some story there. Because, like, yeah, I wondered if there was, like, some callback to, like, the GBA games in some way, right? Because the Metroid Fusion thing, not the game, but the whole, they do that right at the start of the game, exactly once.
Yep. Except it's just implied that it happened to all the other bosses.
So that the other bosses have been Metroid infused somehow. It's like, why? Why even go? I mean, I guess the bosses had to be messed up in some way because their lore is that they were friendly.
Yes.
And so they needed a reason to be unfriendly.
I mean, I think
but they could have explained that with their own damn mechanic of the green energy fucking everything up.
Yeah.
Apart from maybe the lava guy because he kind of lives in it. But
sure.
Anyway.
Or they could have.
They had something there that could explain all this, but it makes the Metroid thing that happens right at the start of the game utterly meaningless and is never, never fulfilled.
They just had to put that in because otherwise there wouldn't have been Metroids in the game.
Because the word Metroid has to be there somewhere. Yeah. Anyway, that wound me up. And I was sort of expecting the ending, the Chrono Tower, to be more of a thing rather than
it's not actually a dungeon.
It's not a dungeon. No, it's not a level. It's just walk in, do fight. There's no surprise. There's no tension. There's no I
mean, I wonder if that is maybe another hint of the potential of they had to cut this game that length down. Because did you see that thing that I said about the mine, the last dungeon, how it feels like that isn't the last dungeon, but then they ported the last boss into that dungeon almost.
Kinda, yeah. I mean, yeah, the mine sequence is fun, but it's less of a it's not really a Metroid-y level, is it? It's a that's almost the most linear part of the game.
Yeah.
And one you can, at that point in the game, nearly clear in one go, right?
Yeah, because
there's still one item you don't have at that point, so you do have to go back to it. And they do try and introduce some stuff, and it's all, I don't know. That's where the interplay with the other characters starts to actually feel a little meaningful. Not a lot, but a little.
Apart from the fact that it's all fake out death.
Yeah, it's all fake out death.
Before the actual heroic sacrifice in the final boss battle that is completely dumb as well.
I guess we don't know. But which is, yeah.
We'll hold him down, apparently. that was the plan.
Somehow.
Don't just shoot him some more or anything, just hold him down.
Just hold him down. And this guy who can make dragon nano machines out of him at any point. And we'll just hold him. What? Yeah, also, that last boss fight kind of sucks. I don't know. It's cool on paper, but playing it, I didn't have fun with it. It didn't feel particularly good, especially because of it took me quite a few goes to get it. I've got no problem with a hard boss fight.
Yeah,
but this felt hard for bullshit reasons.
Sure.
The first segment took me a while to figure out, actually in some elements, what to do in places. And the game was quite poor at telegraphing what you actually had to do. And also, because your team is there, because you've got the NPCs there, they could die.
Yep.
And just put you into an end state. And there's a couple of phases, or one in particular phase of that boss, where he can down someone, and then within a few seconds, kill that someone, giving you in a sort of death zone that you can't step into to rescue the guy to stop you from dying. So there is a probability there, a non-zero chance that you can lose that fight through no fault of your own. And that is terrible.
Yep.
How did it get there? This is the last fight. This is supposed to be the big deal. The second phase of that boss fight is actually kind of interesting and thought it was a cool mix-up. Apart from the fact that there's that's a great moment to recover your health and stuff.
Yeah.
But the recovery items you can potentially get from that are completely random.
Yep.
So sometimes you get nothing, making that run almost a no-go, right? Unless you perfect the next section.
And that was also the bit where I suddenly had to learn to use the in-screen motion aiming because that's how you get the more power-ups by shooting him more, but you actually have to use the motion controls to do it.
Yeah. And in fairness, you kind of had to do that at several points during this boss fight.
Sure.
Which is, and a few
Can you use the weird mouse control?
I never tried it.
Oh, you didn't actually even experiment with it?
Yeah, I haven't tried it. Oh. I can't... I will give it a go. Maybe just reload my... I don't know if I can reload my save. I don't know how that works.
I mean, it probably has a pre-boss save point thing.
But yeah, I might give it a little try just to see how it feels. But yeah, I didn't try it during the gameplay because a bit of being purist. I'm going to do this how I want to play Prime.
You didn't have to make any progress while experimenting.
No, I guess not.
You could have just dicked around for a little while.
Yeah, maybe get a little lap tray out to try and make the mouse comfortable. Yeah. Anyway, I didn't. Yeah, and also there's a phase of the third phase that's just pretty stupid as well. The damn morph ball phase that's just no fun at all.
I forget how I ended up figuring that out, because the first time I got completely owned by it, but then the second time I was just like, oh wait, hang on, you could just do this, and then it completely neutralizes it. But I forget what I did.
Right, I didn't get to a completely neutralized state. My tactic for that ended up being like, actually let the thing that it does let him hit me, and that puts him into a different state where he's then easier to just finish off. And if so, okay, so just let it come to me. I'll take that hit, but then getting through that section is nice and easy, except for the one time where the pattern changed and he just kept attacking me over and over again with like almost no window after the stun lock of you getting hit. Like, not that there's much stun lock, but you know, it was just like bang, 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 and like each one of those hits almost takes an energy, like it actually does an energy tank's worth of damage. Like at that point, and it's just like, well, I was dead, and it's like, but and that was the one time that happened, and it's like, I don't know, I don't necessarily have a problem with boss fights that have things to figure out, but this just felt like, compared to every other boss fight in the game, apart from the lava worm, which I mentioned my grievances with that before, it just felt like all of the bullshit combined into one fight, and not in a good way.
And once, even in that last boss fight, I still managed to forget about the control beam.
Right, yeah.
Right at the end where it's like, well, how do you deal with this? Oh wait, that one thing that you keep forgetting all the time.
I did figure that one out pretty quickly this time. Like that one wasn't too much of a trouble. Yeah. And then it just sort of ends.
Yep.
With no fanfare or anything. It's just like, yeah, it's done. What are we doing now? I don't know.
Plant a tree.
Yeah.
Apparently.
It doesn't feel like there's any stakes to it or whatever. Like, yeah, I don't know. It's too much of a nothing burger.
And now they've completely removed any chance of following story on from previous Prime games. Now that you've got rid of Slilax, the one single tiny trail from Prime 3.
Well, we don't know if he's got rid of. We don't know what's happened to him.
Well, he's stuck on the other side of the portal,
at
least.
You just sort of leave. They might find another portal. I don't know. Who knows? Maybe he ends up Metroiding your team. I don't know.
Yep. They'll come back as Metroid zombies in the next game.
Yeah.
But then people would like that, because then you get to kill them.
Suck it, Mackenzie.
Yeah. He'd have to be the final boss.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I don't know. I think the final third of that game is nowhere near as strong as the opening two. It's a bit of a bummer, but yeah, maybe that's an indication of what you said, like some of the cuts and some of this trouble they generally had with the development of this thing.
Yeah.
Doesn't quite hang together. All that said, like, Rob review, like, I generally had a good time with it. Like, it is a good game. Like, it is probably the weakest of the four in the series for me.
Yeah.
With the first one still being
it's
the
not
standout.
Prime.
It's definitely not Prime. No.
Okay. It's not Prime Video. It's
do not compare it to that travesty. Although in fairness, Prime Video did at least put a good show on there recently. Like Last One Laughing Series 2 is on there, and it's great fun.
Yeah, that's the one thing they have.
Yep. It's excellent. They should do more of that.
It's a Japanese format, is it, or Australian or something?
It was originally called Documental. And was the Japanese format was a bit more hardcore in a way because everyone who went on the show actually put money up, right? And it was a winner takes all scenario. It was literally a bet.
Wow.
Japanese got to get their gambling in somewhere.
Yeah, do it through TV.
Metroid.
So I finished that. I also finished Shantae for the Game Boy Color.
You actually managed to stick it out.
Yeah, I stuck it out.
I still don't understand why you're playing this Game Boy Color game.
Yeah, intrigue. It was all right. In the end, I don't have a great deal to add to what I said last time.
You didn't get any kind of ability that solved all your problems suddenly.
Well, kinda. You do eventually get the ability to just straight up fly.
Okay.
At one point, which then lets you explore a bit more freely, and then sort of make some of the world make a bit more sense. And it kind of, man, I think I got lucky for like one of the last bits because there are very few. I didn't read the guide for how to get to the end area. I just sort of stumbled upon it, but it's like there was a very high chance that you weren't going to just stumble upon it. There weren't really any clues to where it was. There was just like, yeah, it's got to be about here somewhere. And it's like, well, and you've just got the flying ability. It's like, what? The game was expecting me to literally traverse the entire world flying around just trying to see if I could find something in the sky. Which is, yes, that's where it was. Yeah, it wasn't. I got pretty lucky there, I think. Like how to actually end this thing. And I did go back and get some of the power-ups that were useful for some of the ending stuff, but yeah, the last boss fight was kind of like it was very very much ups and downs. I don't think the world was particularly great. I don't think the Game Boy Color is actually a particularly great format for that game. The sprites are too big and you can't see too far. Like
classic,
one of those, yeah. And the but like the boss fights were fun. The boss fights were generally good, and I did get slightly better at working out what worked in the combat, especially when I got the elephant stomp ability. That thing just murders everything.
So that was the solution to all the problems.
Kinda, yeah. Some of the difficult combat was just like get somewhat nearby and do an elephant stomp. The thing will die. Yeah, and I also did some of the Game Boy Advance stuff as well. Like, there's a dance that lets you turn into one of the pirate bandits, who's a little bit more combat capable, shall we say. So that felt a little bit like a cheat at times. But hey, it's there. They put it in. It's legit. Anyway, I finished that. We're done with that. I guess I could move on to one of the other Shantae games.
Yep.
I forget which is next. I think it's Risky's Revenge, I think, is next. I think Risky's Revolution was the Game Boy Advance game that's only just been released, right? Because it was cancelled.
Right.
And they've only just got around to fixing it up and re-releasing it. So I could jump into that one. If I'm to carry on this. Anyway, I'm done with that. What else have I been playing? I started playing 2 games, actually, that I've started playing afresh. Oh, I'm still playing Arc Raiders. I should talk about that. Like, still dabbling with that with kippers every now and then. I had some I finally had some considerably sketchy runs. Like, it started happening. Getting into some matches with bastards. Let's put it that way. To the point where, like, one of the funniest ones was there was a whole group of us that had sort of banded together to try and get to this elevator out of the level, and a leaper was hanging out, like, just jumping on us all. It had managed to down me by just jumping on me, and then I realised, oh no, wait, it wasn't the leaper that shooted. There's a guy in the bushes over there that's just fucking sniping us while we're trying. Like, why is he even doing that? Like, we're all just trying. Like, because you can leave if you're still downed, you can sort of hobble into the elevator and still get out of the level, which is kind of fun. And that was how I eventually escaped. But it's just like, it just added to a slightly hectic scenario with just this guy just casually sniping you all. And then I had another one where there was like one of the bigger enemies, like just wandering around on this level, and there was a bunch of people trying to take it down, until of course the bastards turned up and tried to take down the people trying to take down the thing, presumably to get the loot from it themselves. And we're like, yeah, we want no part of that. We're just gonna skate around the edges, and then until one of them spotted us and started trying to snipe us, and we're like, run away, run away. And I've had a few sketchy runs on my own, not in a team as well, where I've spawned into some levels that were, with pretty nasty enemy formations near me. And I have died once. That has actually happened. So I lost all my shit that I was carrying at the time. As I said before, that game's alright. Like, I don't necessarily understand why it's as big as it is, but it's but it is kind of fun. It's like, what if Deep Rock Galactic had, like, maybe 10% of the combat, but every combat encounter could kill you immediately? Like,
how can you have 10% of Deep Rock's combat? It already has, like, 10% combat, doesn't it?
Well, Deep Rock's quite combat heavy. Like, really.
It depends on the mission, I suppose.
compared to an extraction shooter anyway. It's all about the tension. And it's like, that guy over there, is he going to come for us? Is he going to come for us? No, it's Arc Raid. He's probably fine. Just shout, don't shoot, and hope for the best. So I'm still doing that every now and then. I started playing Super Mario 3D World on the Switch.
Oh, really?
Cool. Yeah, so I've played Super Mario 3D Land on the 3DS, and this was the follow-up that was originally released on Wii U, but got a Switch release.
Is this the one with the Bowser's Fury?
It comes with Bowser's Fury, yeah. So I've got that as well, but I'm playing 3D World first. And, it's pretty much exactly what you expect. It is just kind of 3D Land, but with nicer graphics and Cat Mario. I'm not feeling the usual... it's good, but I'm not feeling the usual Mario innovation going on here. Do you know what I mean? Even in, Mario U... What was it? Was it called that? Super Mario Bros. U. Yeah. I got a slightly more of a feeling that each level kind of had its own thing going on. And while that is true here, it just doesn't feel like that thing is necessarily distinctive enough, or interesting enough.
Right.
I guess this was the game that introduced Captain Toad's treasure tracking stages.
Right, yeah, which became its own game, yeah.
So there's a couple of those, and they're kind of an interesting change of pace, right? To add to the thing, have a little slightly puzzly element about how you need to tackle these levels and get everything in the time limit. Those are kind of all right. There's some touch stuff that hasn't translated to the Switch, I'd say, particularly well. It's fine, but because obviously there was you could touch the Wii U gamepad on some levels to make some stuff happen. Those levels seem pretty rare, in fairness. I've maybe seen 2 of them so far, but they've been replaced with the idea that if you press right bumper on the Pro Controller, a little cursor appears on screen, and you can then gyro where that cursor is, and press right bumper again to simulate a touch. So that's okay. It kind of works, but it's clearly a bit of a kludge to deal with, a loss of functionality from the Wii U version. Because I guess you could probably do it if you were playing handheld. I guess that would work just fine. Just poke the screen, mash with your palm now. That would work. But yeah, it seems fine. It just kind of it's good. It's pretty much exactly what you'd expect. Exactly what you'd expect. Which makes the Bowser's Fury part perhaps a little bit more intriguing.
Right. Yeah. The obvious thing is, 2D, but if you want variety in levels, then
it's Wonder, right? Yeah. Clearly, yeah. I'm not entirely sure the 3D sub-series of games has been all that successful, because they're fine, they're good games, but they don't seem to push the needle in any particular way, at all. I guess the one thing that
seemed like Bowser's Fury was the experimenting with fully open world Mario.
Yeah, absolutely, because it came out after Odyssey, right? And this was this is one area in which the entire game takes place in seamlessly, right? So there's and I know people have actually some beef with how the Bowser's Fury part of the name actually functions. Apparently that can get a little annoying, even within this game's short running time. But yeah, I get the feeling that this. I don't really know the exact makeup of Bowser's Fury. I don't know if its area is bigger than one of Odyssey's areas. If you see what I mean. I don't know what the scaling is like. But it is an interesting concept to have an entire Mario game in one seamless area.
Yeah.
That I guess they experimented with. Now we're making Donkey Kong.
Yeah, they gave up on that for Donkey Kong.
Made Bonanza instead, yeah. So there's that. I will carry on with that. I've also started Dave the Diver.
God.
Dave the Diver is really good. It's actually a pretty decent game.
What is it?
It is. So I talked about Cook Serve Delicious on the show before, right? Where that's when you're running a restaurant and you're doing these little quick time events effectively to prepare all the food. There's part of the game that's that, but not exactly like that. You're not preparing the food. You're kind of doing a little bit of restaurant management. in the sushi management. But the bulk of the game is going diving to get the ingredients for said sushi restaurant. So here is a sort of like shifting weird world of where the sea changes every time you dive into it. And it becomes this like loop of you going fishing, essentially, trying to find more exotic fish, trying to find different fish, trying to fill out your fishy decks, essentially.
Right.
Whilst also having weird characters come up to you and said, "Hey, I'm looking for this thing. Like, can you go find this thing?" Or like, go do that. "Oh, I need a shark. Can you go kill a shark for me?" And you're like, "Yeah, all right." And Dave is reluctant to this whole thing along the way.
Okay.
Like he doesn't necessarily really want to be here. And whenever I asks him something, he's just like, "That sounds really dangerous. Why would I do this?" And they're like, "Yeah, but we'll pay you." And he's like, "Yeah, all right." It's quite. I think the writing's real good. The interaction between the characters is pretty fun. I am enjoying the loop quite a bit. The whole go fishing, find some stuff, make progress, and then sell what you've caught loop. It's kind of the Racketeer thing, I guess. That sort of like, but presented in a different way. It is a somewhat satisfying loop. I think the music is great. I especially like the hip hop tinge to the restaurant theme, which is nice.
Nice.
And possibly the best thing in the whole game is like when you choose to enhance your menu or enhance the dishes that you're serving, or spend time researching the menu or something, your chef, Bancho, gets these really excellent little pixel art cutscenes play out that are like an absolute joy to watch. They're like some of them are range from the classic of the anime trope of a drop falling, and that's supposed to be a moment of realization, right? Except it's Bancho doing a drop of soy sauce into this dish.
Oh, okay.
And goes boing, and he's like or doing samurai shit to create sashimi and stuff like that. Except those are incredibly well animated and well presented, and I love them every time they come up. And there's a few of them, so you're not seeing the same one every time. They're great. They're really great. I'm super enjoying it. I'm only a few hours in, but Dave the Diver seems real good. One thing I will point out, I am playing on the Steam Deck, and performance doesn't seem perfect on there. It seems like it has a frame pacing issue, slightly, where it's reporting it's running at a full 60 if I run it at 1080p, docked.
But it's a bit hitchy.
Yeah, it's a little hitchy. It doesn't feel perfectly smooth. But yeah, I'm enjoying this. It's real good. Dave the Diver. I bought it at the same time as I bought Balatro, but Balatro took over my life.
Naturally.
So it's been a while coming.
Where's that damn patch?
Yeah, where is the Balatro patch? I played some other stuff, but I think we can leave it there. Been dipping into other things, but that'll do. One thing I meant to talk about a few weeks ago, I guess, is hey, Dolphin added Triforce emulation, right? So you can now emulate those GameCube-based arcade games. So I've dabbled a little, like Mario Kart GP.
Oh yeah, your favorite,
or F-Zero AX, which apparently has a different handling model. So I do want to try that at some point. But yeah, Mario Kart GP is kind of interesting. So it's a weird game, actually.
Didn't you used to play that in the arcade, didn't you?
I played it a few times in the arcade, yeah. Not a huge amount, but I have done it a few times.
Right.
But yeah, because that had it was a magnetic card progression system, right? And the items that were available to you in a race were randomly picked from the pool that you've unlocked. And as you play the game, you would increase the pool of items. So the possibilities actually expanded. You could unlock more carts. You could, you had to play through the tracks in each cup in an order. So 1 credit, you'd go to the Yoshi Cup and play Yoshi Cup 1, for instance. And then if you did put your next credit in, you could go to another cup and do that if you wanted some variety. But if you wanted to go to the Yoshi Cup, no, you have to do Yoshi Cup Race 2 next. It's you can't do Yoshi Cup Race 1 because you've done that already. So
I wonder if that. So presumably the emulator will emulate the magnetic.
It does, yeah. It emulates the card.
Okay.
Which is apparently one of the challenges of getting Triforce up and running. Is like there's this other hardware you have to fake in some way.
Yeah. Okay.
I don't think they're faking the camera yet, or there's no way to link to your webcam. I think to mimic the because Mario Kart GP had a camera that would be facing at you, so your portrait would appear over your car in multiplayer races. And one of the items just slaps your face on your opponent's screen, which is kind of funny. If it worked, but I obviously can't do that. Yeah, it's an interesting game.
That's cool.
Apparently it was built on the Double Dash engine.
Really?
Graphics engine, but it's not based on the Double Dash handling model. Let's put it that way.
Yeah.
Built on the Double Dash engine by Namco to make this thing. Anyway, yeah, it's interesting. Triforce emulation. Now a thing.
Cool. I remember I had played at Phoenix Doe the initial D arcade game, and that had a magnetic progression save. So it printed out the card, but I was trying to enter my name, but you had to turn the wheel and press the button. I screwed up, so I only got as far as my first letter, which was my initial, which of course is D.
Which is brilliant.
Yeah. So my initial D.
Who's playing initial D? Oh, it's D.
Oh. Yeah, D.
Damn.
Oh. Yeah.
This guy's serious.
Speaking of Japanese racing games, I continue with Tokyo Extreme Racer.
Yeah, boy.
Yeah, it's good. I like it. I got to stage 3, which is I finally was able to unlock the car, the skyline that I wanted. Nice. So I've just got it. Yeah, but now I've figured out it's not that good at communicating what's going on sometimes with the progression. But I think you basically have to play it through once to understand, and then you're like, oh, okay, well, I'll just use the RX-8 for stage 2 and I'll use the Skyline for stage 3 or whatever. It's not that obvious because there's so many things to spend because you've got 2 currencies. You've got money and experience points to spend.
Oh, okay.
And in some cases you have to spend experience points to unlock the ability to spend money on things. So it's like a double thing. So it's quite often you go to the perks section and scroll across to the tuning and unlock the things. Then you go to the tuning screen and spend money on the things. Right. Yeah. It's a lot of that. It's quite a lot of pointless busy work doing that kind of stuff. But you can stay competitive by just upgrading your car in a fairly obvious way.
When you say stages, are they literal stages in the story progression in some way?
Yeah. It's like chapters basically, but they're called stages.
But so your car, it's worth having or you can only get a car appropriate to that chapter. Is that what you are?
Unless you do that thing that I described where you press that button marked give up.
Right.
Yeah, which all it does is, I think, unlock the restrictions. So you can, spend
then it becomes
spirits on whatever you want.
Like a free mode. Yeah.
Yeah, kind of, yeah.
More sandboxy.
Yeah. But there's still confusion. You're doing, after all, you're like, okay, I'm just doing I just need to do the blue triangles are the ones where I haven't raced them yet or I haven't met them before. So find the blue guys, do those, and you get used to okay, that triggers the team leader and then the bosses appear or whatever. But there's still there's the wanderers are the characters. I told you about Wind of Napoli, the pizza guy.
Right, yeah. Sounds amazing.
Yeah, and of course you need to meet the special requirements to be able to even race those. So they're just driving you around and you can't race them unless you get the requirements.
Is there a crappy taxi driving around?
There are taxis, and I have never challenged one because I read that they are super hardcore.
Right, yeah.
Yeah.
Because I think that's the joke that in one of the Yakuza games, right, Kiryu drives a taxi and they have their own little rip-off mini-game of Tokyo Extreme Racer.
Right, Shuto, yeah.
And obviously this taxi is super, it becomes super hardcore.
Yeah, I think that, because you can, like I said, you can actually challenge any car, any traffic to a race, but normally you wouldn't. But yeah, you can challenge the taxis and get extra points that way, but apparently the taxis are hardcore, so I haven't actually tried it.
I think that's great.
But I got a bit confused. Like there was one, and I had to look up because there's a whole nice community on Reddit and stuff who are into these games, and especially because this game has been in early access on PC for a while, even though it's just come out on PS5. And there was one boss who totally smoked me and had like if you look at the box art, like it wasn't the one on the box art because that's I think the final boss maybe, but it's got like paint and a kind of crazy effect around the car, and that is actually in the game. So you can attach things to your car and you can have neon lights and stuff. But the bosses, some of the hardcore ones, have like this aura where they have like a kind of fantasy, kind of cool glowing effect around them. And this one had the effect.
Unleashed like a
exactly.
Unbounded, effect.
Yeah, that kind. So this one had it, and I was like, and it was just destroying me. And I was like, what's the deal with this? With this particular boss, I think it was a boss, and then I managed to figure out that I had actually already beaten that boss, and this was actually because I went and looked it up this was like a rematch. Yeah, exactly. And I looked up, and apparently in early access it was apparently impossible. And they nerfed the boss, but then they put the unnerfed version back as a rematch with the aura on it.
Oh, that's kind of fun.
So I was like, okay, that makes sense.
So that's like the super hardcore guy.
So it's like a badge of honor in the community that you actually managed to beat this character before it was nerfed. Yeah. That's quite cool. Yeah, it's kind of cool. And they all have weird, I think that was Midnight Rose or something, or like, because Cinderella After Midnight was the end of stage 2 boss that I needed in order to unlock the ability to buy the car that I wanted.
Right.
Yeah. So that one was fine because that was in, but whatever it was, I can't remember the name of it, was, totally impossible. But presumably I can get to the point where I can actually challenge a car like that. But you can always, there's no penalty for repeatedly trying the race again. If they beat you, you can just drive up behind them and flash and do another race. So you can, like, if you're really determined, you can cheese it eventually. You just have to. It's hard, but if you're very lucky, they'll run into something, right? But as they get more skilled, it's less and less likely. But there can just be circumstances where there's a car there, there's traffic, and there's also a toll booth or something, and they just smash into the toll booth, and you just got very lucky. But which isn't skill at all, but it can happen.
Well, I kind of like that it can. Like, that's nice to.
Yeah, it's cool.
Because I was sort of thinking about this the other day when I was playing Forza again, played some Forza Horizon, and it's like the AI doesn't really cock up or very often in Horizon. And it's like it's making the racers feel a little too robotic, right? It's like it's something that's missing, I think, from Horizon, and it's.
They definitely have
nice when it happens.
character, but I think it's just from a preset set of like some of them are switched to are like in aggressive mode, or some of them are there's like a few things I think so there's like obviously the speed and stuff of their car, but there's few
driving styles.
Driving styles that are selected. I don't think it's super nuanced. I think it's just like some of them drive very smooth and some of them veer around trying to hit you and all that stuff, which is kind of cool to give them a bit of character. And then combined, like I said, with the writing, which is just very, very Japanese. I don't know how to describe it. But yeah, it's fun. I'm really enjoying it.
Nice.
I would obviously be curious to see what you think, but you might play the PS2 game. I think it's probably the same game pretty much. But
possibly. Yeah, the lineage of that game really confuses me because I think I got it wrong last time I talked about it. It's like there's two Dreamcast games.
There is a SNES game, technically.
Yeah.
It's technically in the same series.
Yes, and a PlayStation game, I think. But it's that's sort of linked, but not quite the same. But the one we didn't get many of them in the UK.
No, they didn't get.
We got the two Dreamcast games, and we got the first of the PS2 games, which is confusingly just called Tokyo Extreme Racer.
Right,
but even though it has the exact same box art as the second Dreamcast game in the UK, is actually a port of Tokyo Extreme Racer 0. So the PS2 game is a different game to the Dreamcast game, despite having the same box.
Right.
They really fucked up kind of over here. And made the branding really confusing. Apparently, one of the best ones in the series, Tokyo Extreme Racer 3, we just never got over here, which kind of blows. And it's supposed to be really good. That was the one where I think that was the game where they finally started getting licenses for real cars, because like a lot of them are like pseudo.
Yeah, yeah. Nigel Mainsail type. Yeah.
Yeah. So apparently that's the one. That's the apart from the new one, that's the height of the series.
I can't speak to how faithful the new one is, but it seems to be just one of those, right? And a good one at that. A good one. So yeah.
Yeah, I'd like to see what the old ones are like. I'm sure I've played Tokyo Extreme Racer, one of them, in the past, but it was so long ago I couldn't do it. I didn't own it. I've never owned it. So,
and of course, Tokyo Extreme Racer, like the tracks are always the same because it's the same bit of Tokyo every time.
I think they have expanded like the highways.
Yeah. Somewhat, but yeah, it's still the main the loop, the inner loop and the outer loop, C1 loop. Yeah.
It's cool.
Yeah.
I appreciate a series for kind of sticking to its thing, right? It's like it's got the same sort of like the fact that there's been loads of games that are just doing their thing. Like actually, to me, kind of feels good. Yes, they may all be very similar, and that's going to be off-putting to some people. But there's an element of like, well, yeah, but they're refining their craft over all this time. Like surely it's like the Yakuza games. It's like they're doing the same thing over and over and over. But but in a weird way, it's like it's super satisfying seeing it get better.
And it's nice to see it. I mean, you get this in indie games, but it's nice to see something where it's like, how much content can we squeeze out of these tracks or this one idea or whatever, still make it entertaining? Because the modern way, that used to always be the way. And now the modern way is just like, no, make more content, more areas, more characters, more stuff, right? That seems to be the way the value is derived nowadays, like with these giant teams and stuff. And it's like, isn't it like you want to squeeze as much out of this one idea as you can?
Yeah. And make that... Yeah, it's a difference in technique that's afforded by ability to have loads of content, right? It's like, and I know I'm ragging a little bit on Forza Horizon of late, but it's like the more I play it, the more the more I have been playing it recently, the more I'm sort of falling off it again because of its foibles. Like the core, it just isn't necessarily as satisfying as I want it to be. Like the core idea of an open world driving game is good, but the racing just doesn't quite feel as satisfying, and I have a personal problem with that game where I'm kind of in the awkward zone in between skill levels. So like pro mode is too easy for me, and expert mode is too hard.
I hate that one.
And I can't find a good middle ground. And my control problems with the game, I've said over and over again. It's like I really hope they go back to the core model in Horizon. They've not talked about it, but they've talked about what Tokyo is like in Horizon 6, right? And that Tokyo itself is big and blah 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 blah. Like no one's been talking about how this thing actually plays, like how it actually drives, like if they've actually changed the feel. And or if the AI is any different or anything like that. And I highly doubt it is. And that's actually a real bummer if that's true. Because I think that's my core problem with the game, not just all of the put this on YouTube, superstar, or whatever. Like, not just the tone. Like it's, I think the core needs work.
Indeed.
Anyway, sorry. It's like
we shall see.
Bit of a sidetrack, but I really hope.
Yes, we can all hope. And that is the end of this podcast. Yeah, you have made it. Well done. You can check out our YouTube channel where we are currently doing a Let's Play of Skies of Arcadia.
Woo.
And if you subscribe, you might even get some more Opus Magnum content. Who knows? Zach stays silent. We shall see.
Commit to nothing.
But there's plenty on there. There's original Opus Magnum content which you could enjoy.
Watch the entire game up to the original end of it.
And many other things. So check that out, and we'll be back in a couple of weeks' time with another Saladcast. So catch you then. Bye.
Bye.